On this episode, I'm delighted to be joined by one of the finest footballers this country has ever produced. A man who has won the Premier League 11 times, 2 Champions Leagues and played over 700 times for his boyhood clubs. I was lucky to be an international teammate of his, and the stuff he used to do in training would baffle all of us. This is the legend that is Paul Scholes. Scholesy, thanks for joining us. With all our guests go right back to the start, because although you're a household name, you're an enigma. Nobody really knows. What was it like growing up?
Just very normal, working class background, I suppose, like everybody else. Just wanted to play any kind of sport I could do, whether it was football, cricket, anything, golf. I'd try to get into anything. So, look, grew up in a good place. I think it was a good place.
Yeah.
People look back, maybe say it was a little bit rough, council estate, but you know, at the time I loved it. I really enjoyed what I was doing. You know, through the week, especially playing football at weekend.
Yeah,
play football every night, don't you? I'm sure you're exactly the same, playing for just 3 or 4 different teams at once. So very sporting background, following my dad everywhere. My dad playing Sunday morning football, Saturday afternoon amateur football. So there's always something sporty.
Was you always a Red?
As a kid, I was a big United fan, yeah.
Right.
But couldn't really afford to go to games, to be honest with you. My dad took me to the odd game. I remember coming to a game here against Chelsea, which would have been probably early 80s as a 8 or 9 year old kid. But my dad was a big Oldham fan.
Oh, right, yes.
So we ended up going to watch Oldham, and at the time Oldham had quite successful and had a good team.
Yeah, that was the Premier League,
good
wasn't
to watch. Yeah, it's 10 minutes from my house, so yeah, they're in Premier League at the time. They had great cup runs.
Yeah.
So ended up being an Oldham fan as well.
Yeah. So you've gone to Man United 14. Now you hear the stories about how talented you was, but there was people doubting you because of your size, and did you have to come through that and deal with it?
Well, yeah, you do. I think it's probably a mental thing, isn't it? I had it from probably being 10, 11, 12 years of age when I was at Oldham at first. I was actually at Oldham School of Excellence first, and everybody said you'd be too small. There's no way you can be a footballer. You're too small. You can't cope physically with it, and it was never really something that put me off. It never affected me in a way. You don't know you're going to be a footballer, do you? Everybody has a dream to be a footballer. You never know it's going to happen. But size, because I felt from where I grew up, and the teams I played for on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, that it made you streetwise anyway. So I felt I could look after myself. I'm not saying fighting or anything, but if I needed to look after myself on a football pitch, I felt I could do it. I never felt size was gonna go against me.
No, definitely. You could I've got the scars to prove it. A few games. I know you could look after yourself. The famous Paul Scholes tackles. Obviously, the story's been told 1,000 times, but the class of '92. So you guys come through all together. I know how special that is because we had a similar thing with our West Ham team. We all come through and we won the Youth Cup, culminating in that. How good was that team?
We knew we were good. Well, so I don't mean that in an arrogant way, because we were beating most teams. You know, you've got your Liverpools, you've got your Man Cities, you've got your Evertons, your local teams you're playing against, and most of the time we was winning the league every year as well. How
close was Alex Ferguson to the youth team? And because back in, I remember Harry Redknapp with us. He'd go and watch us on the Saturday before the Premier. You don't see that much now, do you?
No, I think now there's a big detachment in this from managers even knowing who some of the under-18 players are. I think at that point you're in a small training ground. There's probably one pitch, maybe an indoor pitch, and the manager knew everyone. The manager knew every single player that was in the building, and they used to come and watch us. I think there's probably a little buzz about the place that we were beating teams 4 or 5-0 each week, and looking like a really good team, and we had quite a few come to watch us. Saturday mornings, we had like a little bit of a following, and that obviously progresses to the first team, doesn't it? And, if they're playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, they're coming down to watch us on a Saturday morning. It's quite nerve-wracking because you've got that glass window, and you've got Paul Ince, Mark Hughes, Brian Robson, all these legends of the club that you'd look up to, and then you've got the manager looking out of his office as well. It was quite nerve-wracking, but...
It sounds so similar to the West. That's exactly what happened at West Ham. Obviously to a lesser degree because West Ham's a smaller club. But Harry would come, some of the first-team players would come. And it would you'd want to show them.
Of course you would,
That doesn't happen anymore. It's interesting, isn't it?
No, it doesn't happen no more. I think that's a shame, mate. You do. Because these young kids, they're looking up to these people. That's the first-team players are where they want to go. And that's exactly where we wanted to go. We wanted to, be in the first team with Brian Robson, or when Brian Robson leaves, we want to make that next step up. And I think that's something that is missing now. But it's something we was lucky enough to have.
1994, you make your debut in the League Cup. To score 2 goals, how did that feel for you?
Especially I was a centre forward then, actually. So
off the front, man.
Off the front, well, more of a number 9 actually.
Really?
Believe it or not,
So you was a number 9?
I grew up as a number 9.
Did you?
Yeah. I never ever played midfield. Honestly, I was just a goal scorer. And I grew up from being 9-10 years of age playing in a football team. I was just a centre forward who scored goals all the time. Came then to the youth team as a centre forward again. Eric Harrison always said to me, you'll be a central midfield player. And they ended up being right, really.
From the outsider looking in, I think like Ferguson, Sir Alex, he made this culture at the club where even players who didn't
make the grade at Manchester United, but come through the youth team. They had that Man United way about them. Like
The one word they always used was desire.
yeah,
That desire and determination
Yeah.
to win games of football. Even when you're not at your best, there's always there's that competitive edge. And if he sensed for 1 minute that desire had possibly gone out of you.
was he a master at sensing it in
Yeah.
players? Because he
Yeah.
seemed to get players out the door in this period in particular.
Yeah.
I know he had you guys coming through, but do you think he was brilliant at that, weren't he, Ferguson?
Yeah, it was brilliant. There was just that psychological edge over him. If you shown a little bit of weakness or a little bit of a sign that desire or that hunger, that fire in your belly had gone, he was on it straight away.
Yeah.
And, pre-season especially, that was first day of training. If you come back from winning the league or you've won the FA Cup, he knows then if that's the time, right, and he's ready to go again.
What do you think made that team in '99 so? I think I've heard you saying you think that was the best squad that you
I
played
think
in.
so. Yeah, I think there's
What made
many.
it so special?
When I think of great football, I always think about the forwards, the centre forwards. I think that team had 4 of the best centre forwards there's been.
Yeah.
You could start with Andy Cole and Dwight York.
Yeah.
And if not happening for them after an hour, you got Teddy Sheringham, Ollie Gunnar.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was I just think that was the beauty of that team. And it just never kept going. There's obviously disappointments, and we were mentally strong as well. There's always going to be pressure to win. Of course, especially when you come down to the last week, that last 2 weeks. Because the treble wasn't really spoke of that much until probably beat Arsenal in the semi-final at the FA Cup. So you know what a great team Arsenal were, and then that led to the final of the FA Cup, and then Tottenham, and finally Bayern Munich. But I just think the spirit in the squad, the quality of the squad, and the centre forwards. I just felt with them centre forwards, you score goals all the time. Okay, we might concede, but I always felt with them forwards, you give them service. There's just so many goals there. I always remember with Brian Kidd, probably shouldn't say this on there, but I used to pick Kidd up when we were going to away games and stuff, for maintenance services, and we've got to sign Dwight York, and he actually said at the time, Dwight York and Andy Cole can't play together. There's no chance. Absolutely no chance. And then, you look and the connection they had on and off the field was. Well, you know what? You can't predict that.
No.
It might have been a lot of people's opinion. You don't know, but eventually when they came together,
it was just unbelievable. Remember, I think it was a game in Juventus when incredible. I mean, you had a massive part to play in that, leading up goals against Inter Milan. But to miss the final, Scholes, for a kid from Manchester United, how tough was that?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing, but it's something you just have to deal with, don't you? I won't be the first, and I won't be the last. Roy was the same as well.
People forget that you and Roy missed the game. The heartbeat and Man United. That's how good the squad was.
Yeah, well, exactly. And do you know what? It's probably debatable if I'd have played anyway, because a lot of them European games that year away from home, especially, I didn't play. As a central midfield player, I was probably lacked a little bit of discipline in actually playing that position. Because I didn't grow up playing that position, I probably didn't know it as well as other people. Roy was brilliant in that position, Nicky Butt was brilliant, they played that position well. I was just concentrating on scoring goals. I just wanted to get forward, and in European away games especially, it probably wasn't more suited. So, look, I might have played some part of it, but whether I started, I don't know. But Roy definitely was a big miss, and watching the game, didn't play that well. We were quite lucky, really. Everyone knows that. But as I said, our forward players, you always know there's a chance we can score goals, and we left it a little bit late, but managed to do it.
Yeah, well, it's certainly iconic. I was actually in Manchester watching it.
Was you really?
Yeah. Don't tell no one. I was in a pub in Manchester. I come up to see me pal, and ended up I got right involved as watching football.
I can imagine.
It was a good. Let me tell you, Manchester was a good night that night.
Yeah. The team was struggling really. I felt fit. I felt great. Might come back. I fancy coming back and playing again. So I went to see the manager one morning, and he said, "Yeah, great. Let's get it done."
our paths crossed with England. You and Phil, when I turned up at Bisham Abbey as an 18-year-old, you guys were the first ones I've seen. You had a chat with me, made me feel welcome. I think that was 99 maybe. I mean, from my perspective, in your England career, you know, you used, certainly when I was there, you used on the left, weren't you? Was that a source of frustration for you? Because I looked at you and think, you're the best central midfielder in the country. You know, it just seemed like I could sense a frustration.
No, I don't think it was that frustrated, Joe, to be honest, because obviously you had Stephen and Frank as well, two brilliant players, two brilliant centre midfielders that Sven said I had a problem with. I think the trouble when I played centre, people, they expected me to score goals all the time from that position. And I think the older I got, I became more of a controlling midfield player. Which I think probably would have been more suited to playing for England in those type of games. Probably I just didn't play as well for England as I did for United, because I played a lot for Man United in that left-hand side position, because Ryan obviously had a lot of injury problems, hamstrings and backs, and whenever he wasn't playing, I did actually play off the left-hand side. Obviously, I'm not going to be a wide player. I'm not going to be going down the outside. But I always find it a nice little position to play. Because you can get yourself into the box, you can free yourself. There's not many. The fullback doesn't know whether to come towards you. The centre midfielder player's obviously worried about his central midfield player. So I found it a great position for Man United. Just for England, it just never had the same understanding in that role, I don't think.
Just from my perspective, watching you play, it was a privilege to train with you and watch and try and learn from you. But when you retired in 2004, it opened I wouldn't have played. I had 56 caps for England. I don't think I'd have played if you'd have carried on playing. Was that a tough decision, Scholes, to walk away at that time?
It wasn't something that I enjoyed doing. I just wasn't, with England, I just wasn't enjoying playing the football. Honestly, I wasn't enjoying being away from home. I had young kids, I had 3 young kids, and going away 6 weeks at a time. I just didn't like it, and I felt that was probably affecting what was happening on the pitch as well. So I decided that was that.
Listen, you've got to respect that, Scholes. You marched to your own drum, and that's how you feel. Some of the goals you scored were iconic. What was your favourite one? I'm going to say the one you scored against Bradford. No, the Villa, the volley. Is it Villa?
Yeah, Aston Villa was the best one.
That's the best one, wasn't it?
But it was practice. I remember doing it with you all the time. Me and you used to stay behind doing shooting with Steve McLaren all the time, and it doesn't. I always felt if you practice, then there's every chance it's going to happen in the game. The amount of time I used to see at Man United, you got centre forwards don't do shooting.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Got the shooting practice after the game. But I just couldn't get it. But the big example of that was Berbatov.
Yes, I've been told about this.
Great talent, unbelievable talent. Never did any finishing. Now look, don't get me wrong, he scored some great goals. But he'd never. Berby going to do a few shots after just sit down and watch. I don't know what it was. There must be a mentality behind it. Maybe he's saving it for the game. I don't know, but and then there's other people. You think of Ruud van Nistelrooy would just shoot all day long. Didn't want to play football. He just wanted to bang the ball in the back of the net, and you get your rewards and that. But everybody's different.
You get to 08. We go to Moscow. Game. That was obviously the worst experience and one of the worst games because playing against your rivals in that level. But for yourself, after missing 99, how special was it to be given a nod?
Didn't feel great physically, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like I was struggling. And I didn't want it to be a sympathy vote, if you know what I mean. Because a lot of people still talk about 99 not playing, and I know the manager was asked that leading up to it. And something inside me felt like it was a little bit of a sympathy vote that I was going to play. Rightly or wrongly, that was just the way it felt, and physically I just wasn't. I knew legs wise I didn't feel great, but played didn't have a lot of involvement in the game. To be honest, I had a little clash with Makalele early on, which broke my nose. Like you say as well, it's a bit not disappointing. You don't want to play against an English team.
No.
In the biggest game, you're expecting whatever European team it is. Something feels slightly wrong about it.
Yeah.
But we knew how good Chelsea were. Look, it was 50-50, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've said this before, rightly or wrongly, when I was thinking about leading up to that game, it might sound stupid, this, I just thought, how could Avram Grant beat Alex Ferguson?
Yeah.
I don't know what look.
Yeah, no,
a great manager.
I
just looked at both managers, thought it's just not possible. I know it is possible, and it's a stupid way to think, but I just thought the stature of the both managers, the presence of our manager against your manager, I thought I don't think we can lose, but really we should have done. Obviously, John slipped and missed his penalty.
One other thing that I find incredible about your career is you retired, and I remember hearing the rumours. I was popped down the football update. Scholes is coming out of retirement. I think of all the players I played with, there's probably only one. There's a handful of people who I think could have done that because of your technical ability was so supreme. You just have to we're getting fit for 2 weeks and it'll be great. And then you come back and you won another league. I mean, what was the thought process? What was there something missing? Or the urge to get back, or?
Yeah, well, I think the first time I was 35 when and like I said, a couple of years before in the Champions League, I didn't feel great.
Right.
Physically, I just felt like I just couldn't live with playing against the best players anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do. The manager always said, look, you play your 20 games, your 25 games, probably against probably not the biggest games.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play in the big games.
Right.
You know yourself, every player wants to play in the big games, and you want to give a good account of yourself. Of course you do, but I just wasn't feeling great. I'd had 3 months off. The manager wanted me to come and coach with the reserves.
Right.
I kind of got forced into that in a way because coaching was never something I was really that interested. Don't get me wrong, when I do it, when I have to do it, I do quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it was never something I really wanted to go into, and he wanted me to come back out an extended break, came with Warren Joyce with the reserves. And the reserves at United at that time, under 23s, whatever it was, had a really talented bunch of players.
Right.
They were the likes of Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, all these types of lads that, were good and they were beating every week. And because I wasn't interested that much in the coach, I just ended up training.
Yeah.
So, Warren Joyce is known, he's training his hard. He has the fittest team in the club without a doubt. And, international breaks, first team players don't want to go and train with Joyce because it's that hard. But Brynn, I really enjoyed it. We got to Christmas time and the team was struggling really. They had a few injuries. I think Rafa da Silva or Fabio, one of the twins was playing centre midfield. It was here against Blackburn and we got beat. So I said to Joyce, I felt fit, I felt great. I might come back. I fancy coming back and playing again.
So you asked or let it, or did
I just threw a few feelers out first, see what staff thought. I went to see Joyce, I saw McPhelan as well. And he said, go for it. So I went to see the manager one morning and he said, great, let's get it done.
Since you've been retired, you've taken some time off, but you took the Oldham job. You said earlier on, your boyhood club. Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again?
It was never, like I said, culture was never really something I enjoyed, but I was struggling finding something that I did enjoy. I'd done a little bit of media work, obviously with BT, but I'm not saying it's something that I love doing. I couldn't replace playing football. Being a manager didn't replace it. It only lasted for a month, but while I was there, I really enjoyed it. There were circumstances that made it very difficult to do it, and would I do it again? Probably not now. Did a little spell obviously with Salford for 5 games. I enjoy it, little short spells like that. I enjoy working with players. No, it's not something now I'd be looking to get into.
Quick fire round, Scholesy. Who was the most underrated player you played with?
You played with him as well. Michael Carrick.
Yes.
When I say probably wasn't underrated massive, people knew how good he was, but I don't think people realise how good he was.
If there's one moment in your career you could go back and change, what would it be?
Probably tackling Deschamps in that semi-final against Juventus where I got suspended. It wasn't a bad tackle actually, he just made he made a meal of it.
If you had to bet your life on someone to score a free kick, who would take it?
David Beckham.
Yeah. I don't think you was in the warm-up room in Japan in 2002. We was all in there messing about trying to hit a clock. He walked in before the Argentina game, hit it 3 times in a row, the clock fell down and walked out, and I was just like, I was having one of them moments, I was like, I'm never going to get to the top. No player can do that. It was incredible.
Oh, so accurate. His free kick, his passing unbelievable. So people just think about his crossing, really, don't they? But his long passes into Andy Cole and Dwight Yorley, brilliant.
Least favourite away ground?
The hardest is Anfield.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt for us. I don't know what it's like for Chelsea,
same,
but for us, it was hostile, it was tight. When I finished playing football, I used to go and see this chief scout a little bit, and they always said, to find a player for Man United, an attribute we have to think about is, can they go to Anfield and play?
Is that right?
Because it's so tight, you've got to be awareness, you've got to know everything around you. You just got to be able to handle it, and Anfield was definitely tough.
From a younger player playing similar position to you, it was an absolute joy to just play with a few times for England in the crossover, and wish you all the very best in the future.
Cheers, Joe. Thanks,
Cheers,
mate.
pal.
Enjoyed
Good to
that.
see you.
Thank you.
BT Sport Pods.
Scholes is something else, man, wasn't he?
Passing,
in terms of, but Giggs kind of had a bit of a kind of longer career, was incredibly consistent. But Scholes, Scholes. I mean, there's not a lot. There's obviously not a lot. They're both absolutely brilliant and wonderfully gifted players. But you've played with Scholes.
With Scholes and against, he was,
I'm envious.
He was unbelievable. He could do everything. I mean, the one thing I suppose was tackling. He's tackled, but other than that,
he would tackle, but he would miss time if he was aggressive.
And
wasn't
maybe
it?
it was one or two were on purpose. Definitely, he could.
But some people say you need that kind of side to you.
He could look after himself. That's for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
He was naughty now and again, wasn't he? In a tackle.
Yeah.
But everything else, he was sensational. Everything, passing, technique, control. There is nothing we can say about those two that we haven't said or anyone else hasn't said how amazing they are.
Obviously they're very different players. I mean, playing different positions and have absolutely, totally different strengths. Giggs up and down that touchline, but primarily going forward, he could beat players, crossing the ball, score a few goals. Scholes would score spectacular goals as well. Scholes started kind of up front, didn't he? When he first got into the United team, he'd
10 rollish,
10, and even as a 9 on occasions, as they call it now, he would play up top, but he was definitely better. I mean, his passing range, Al.
Amazing. He used to ping those balls in, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, you should know. You miscontrolled a few of them.
I did, you're right. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. Superb.
Yeah.
Great technique.
Yeah.
One of the best, if not the.
How did you find him as a teammate? Because I've worked with him a few times.
Quiet?
So, he's quiet. It's really quiet.
I mean, obviously he's changed now with his being a pundit. He's got very strong opinions, but that's fine. But as a player, he's really quiet. Didn't really say a lot.
Thank you for watching. Listen and subscribe to Match of the Day Top 10 on BBC Sounds. And to be the first to see more from us right here, subscribe to the BBC Sounds YouTube channel.
Right, so we're here. We've just got to the Man City training ground. The actual main stadium is just over there in the distance there, but this is a training ground. It's a phenomenal site, unbelievable place. We've come inside, man. Who am I going to meet today? Mr. Pep Guardiola. See what he's saying. the cameras and that are all behind this door here. It's mad meeting like someone like Pep, who's obviously one of the greatest managers of our time. So successful, so focused. Doesn't make you nervous, but you've got to be on point. You've got to be ready. So obviously playing against his teams over the years, being beaten by his team, probably the greatest club team ever. We won't talk about that though. We just won't. We won't go into that at all. He doesn't need to go into that. He's focused on Man City right now. So for me, we don't go into that anyway. But I'm not looking forward to it. So can't wait to go in there and get my teeth into Mr. Pep Guardiola.
Finally, you have la casa de, ¿cómo se dice? La casa de los pobres, the poor house.
How you doing?
Very good. You know, man?
No, good. How you doing? Nice to see you. You alright?
Because I knew I had to see, I had to put perfume on. Are you ready?
You haven't got time, so we can.
Yeah? Oh my God, what is that? Looks like Julia Roberts is here.
Pep, thank you for coming down and sitting with us. I don't know if you're aware, in England there's always a big debate about midfielders. You was a great midfielder when you played. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes? Who's the best?
Yeah.
More respect, Frank, Stephen, more respect, but Paul Scholes is my favorite one.
Yeah? Why?
I love it. I think he had everything. But the other two, come on, Frank and Steven Gerrard changed this. But Paul Scholes is my favorite.
Good. I like that. United fans will like that. And my last one, if you could pick a five-a-side team. Pick a five-a-side team, past players or present players, for you to play for you, who would it be?
Still playing or?
Still playing or retired, it doesn't matter.
Johan Cruyff. Obvious reason why.
Mr. Football.
No, Mr. Football. Maradona as well. Zidane, I was in love with Zidane. How we played. I faced him in national team France. It was a headache all the time. I don't know. Unless two, I give it to you.
Ronaldo, R9.
Ronaldo. Which one?
R9. Brazilian Ronaldo.
Brazilian Ronaldo.
I'm going to stay with players that are not playing no more. And I will go with...
Last one.
You need a defender, maybe.
Last one. I would say Bernd Schuster. Bernd Schuster was a holding midfielder in Barcelona, German guy. Like when I was a ball boy in Barcelona in my club, he was playing there. I was completely in love with this guy. You can imagine how good he was. He probably had a tough injury and break it. A huge personality. He was a magnificent player.
Yeah. Listen, Pep, thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Good luck.
We will need it.
Thank you, man. Cheers. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers. Coming to Man City, not something I thought I'd ever be doing, really, if I'm honest, coming to the training ground, but to see Pep Guardiola or the likes of the top players playing and talking, this is dream stuff. For a football fan, you love doing this type of stuff. Do you reckon he'll get Champions League this year? I think with Haaland, they got a chance, man. Who would have thought this at Man City? This is, mate, you're going to get chucked out.
But I thought, when I was coming up here today, I was like, very rare to get you two together. A couple of sort of averagely talented former England midfielders. I know how much you hate talking about yourself, which is fine, so we can talk about Glenn. Yeah, cool. And you can do all the talking about Paul. I just thought it'd be nice to have a chat about the period that you spent together, really, as manager and player and things. When I talk to you about Paul Scholes, what's the first sort of memory that comes into your mind as when you kind of first had him on your radar?
As soon as I became England manager, it hadn't been in the squad, but I knew I earmarked him and Bex actually straight away to be brought in. Straight away, because what I'd seen of him, he was just top quality. And he then continued that for the next 15 years after whatever it was. I think you were about 21, but he had everything.
Paul, you know, I've gone on record of saying that this guy sitting next to me is what everyone says to me. Who's the best player you've coached? Blah blah blah. It's Paul. I say Paul. He had one thing that I think that he had to improve on, and it wasn't much really. I forever was trying to get him to stand on his feet, not see the red mist, and because you could see he wanted to win the ball, and he went in sometimes. I'm thinking he's going to get sent off a few times. That was the only problem he had as a player. If that's your only weakness, then you got a chance. So it was excellent. His technique was second to none.
So you obviously weren't involved with England. Do you remember like the phone call or the message from Glenn? Or how did it work in those days? Did you get a letter from the FA or something?
Pigeon.
God, I can't remember. So I think I probably just read it on Sky Sports. What? Whoa! I just read it on.
Can I just point out that's only because at that time BT Sport didn't exist.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say that. Yeah, I just think I picked it up as normal and was surprised. I was quite.
You were surprised?
Oh yeah, of course I was. I hadn't played that many games for Manchester. I was a late developer. I would have been possibly 21. And
you were 21?
Yeah, I think the other lads were like 18, 19. You think Nicky and Gary and Phil and Bex were in before me as well. And it was a chance a chance you've got to try and take. And once you get it, you've got to be good at it. I think the first game was here actually against South Africa. Came on with 10-15 minutes to go with Ian Wright, Paul Gascoigne, playing with all these unbelievable players and.
But as a manager, I'd done it as a player. So as a young player coming in, you have to. It's a nervous thing. You're in the training ground with all these players. You know, going through that. I looked at that. You know, as a manager now, I'm thinking, well, how are you going to cope in your first training sessions? And he just walked in, and straight away, Johnny Gorman, my assistant at the time, we just went, look at him. Looks like he's been here forever. You know, he's a young kid, 21. He wasn't a young kid, but compared to the experience that was around him, and it was a very, very experienced squad actually. The likes of Shearer, Sheringham, you know, Ince, Tony Adams. Yeah, it was a really, really experienced squad, and he just stepped out on that training pitch, as did David Beckham, as did this crop of youngsters that we had from Manchester United at that time. Very exciting time, and he just looked at home, and I went, yeah, he'll do for me.
Did that confidence belie any nerves that were under the surface?
Yeah, obviously helps when you've got a coach who believes in you and you know wants to bring you into the squad and thinks you're going to improve it. I think the big help coming into the squad nerves-wise was I had 4 or 5 of my mates with me. Do you know what I mean? Who'd already been around and stuff, and I was always asking, what's it like? What's he like? Because I'm playing with players that I've grown up watching. You know, you think the likes of Tony Adams, you mentioned Paul Ince, who had watched there in the first team and played a little bit with. So I think that transition into it was a lot smoother than it normally would be.
Were you the sort of player to be asking them what to expect, what it's going to be like, or was your approach just turn up and let your football do the work?
Yeah, I think my approach was because I was watching all these experienced players that I'd seen. I wanted to impress them. I wanted to show that I was worthy of being in the squad, whether it's in training, doing a little 5-a-side possession, whether it's shooting at the end of it. My job was to make sure I felt like I was in the right place with these players, that I could compete with these players, I could play with these players, and trying to earn the respect of the manager first, of the coaches, and then the most senior players.
That's what you want to do. I remember going back now. There was Kevin Keegan, all these players, Trevor Brooking, and I'm a youngster. That's what you want to do. You're not quite sure yourself. You're still. There's a slight little doubt. You believe in yourself and you believe in your abilities, but there's always that doubt until you get there, and then you start to compare, and you think, hang on a minute, they're great, they're brilliant, but actually, I'm holding my own here, or I'm doing even better than that. So that's how you actually, as a youngster, you sort of push yourself. There's little doubts in there that later on in life, you haven't got any of them doubts. They're gone. But that's the part of the growing up as a player.
And he just once he said, don't worry, I'll get him. Yeah. And then within 2 minutes, he's absolutely smashed him. We always thought Gary one day was going to be England captain.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think, should I be captain then?
It's like our dad, isn't it? Same age. He tells us what to eat when we go out to dinner.
But Tony Adams was
loud. I'm Nicky Butt.
And I'm Paul Scholes.
This is our new show
where we take you inside the greatest era.
Under the greatest manager.
At the best club in the world.
Come with us inside the dressing rooms and onto the pitch. I think I was the only person in Premier League history to score a goal and run off, and the camera go on Eric. The camera go on Eric.
As we tell you all about our teammates and the rivalries. I'm pretty sure that was a game where Robbie Fowler scored the goal and not Gary off the ball.
I mean, Nev, what's he doing? I mean, we know Rob, he's a great lad, unbelievable player, but Nev Scott, just what's Nev doing? I mean, he just fell
he
down
got
like
himself in that wrong position.
Fell down like an 82-year-old on his inner frame.
This is football's greatest eras. Today, Nick, we are going to discuss leaders. What makes a great leader?
I think there's all different types of leaders, isn't there? I mean, you'll know as well as me. With certain leaders that we had captains, or I was quite fortunate to have more than one captain at a certain time on the pitch, but some of them lead by verbally, with their actions and so forth. But I mean, for instance, David Beckham, captain of England, was different to Roy Keane, captain of United. They just led different ways. So for me, it's someone who you can follow and will want you to follow him. So Roy, for example, on a training pitch, he'd train the same way as he played. The standards would have to be high. And what I felt with a good leader is that when they were digging you out of something, they never made the same mistakes. If he was giving simple passes away or being sloppy, he'd have to make sure he didn't do that, because it looks bad for him to be doing what he's telling somebody, having a go at somebody about. So for me, I think there's all different leaders, but certainly I was fortunate, especially at Man United, to play with certain captains, Roy being one, Eric, Steve Bruce,
Brian
Peter
Robson.
Schmeichel, Brian Robson, all great leaders, but more importantly, they had that sort of inner drive in them that had the standards really, really high and set high.
I think that's a good point you make, where about leaders not being able to make mistakes. You think about Roy and what he was as a leader. He'd expect to do everything right. Standards were unbelievable, but that's why he'd expect that from the players around him as well. And he would never make mistakes. He'd never make small mistakes, would he? And that's why, if he did, you got a rollicking. I always found Roy as like a manager. You talk sometimes as a young player having a bit of fear around Sir Alex. I think that was Roy as well. And we played with him for years. He was probably a bit closer to Roy than I was, but and I think that was good for players.
Yeah,
I think it was good for most players. Some players might have crumbled a little bit. I'm not really sure, but it definitely told me that if I'm not up to standards, I'm going to get it off Roy. Forget the manager. Yeah. That's the last person. It's the person who's playing next to me. There's some great examples of his leadership. We talked before about the Arsenal thing, where he's protecting his players as well. And I think that's a big strength these captains have. They protect players. We came through as Brian Robson, remember, as kids, and I remember playing an 18 game for him with him at the Cliff, and somebody went right through me and got hurt. I was in a bit of a bad way, and he just come up to me and said, "Don't worry, I'll get him." Yeah. And then within 2 minutes, he's absolutely smashed him. Yeah. And that was the first signs of leadership I really saw. I think you might have been a good captain. You was never really captain much, but I thought you had captain. Was you at Newcastle?
Yeah, I was captain of Newcastle for a couple of two and a half, 3 years. Yeah.
You put pressure on yourself, don't you, as a captain, because you think, right, I'm going to tell these. We'll talk about right. I'm going to tell these standards, everything, short passes, long, whatever it might be. But I've got to make sure I'm doing it.
I didn't like to be captain. I've got to be honest. I didn't like the other side of the captain. So go on a football pitch, leading a team of men who you're close to. That bit I liked. Didn't like all the other stuff where you had to go and have meetings with the manager and players' bonuses and all that stuff that surrounds it. It wasn't for me. It was like, I don't want to get involved in all that stuff. But literally, when you look at the leaders that we had, they were so very, very fortunate, but they were proper leaders, weren't they? Eric was totally different, wasn't he? Eric led by his actions on a pitch. Not all, as we all know, not always the right thing to follow.
Off the pitch,
but literally, on a pitch, you knew that when the going gets tough, your leaders step up and win you the games. I knew, stood next to Roy, we pretty much win most games at Old Trafford because they was in awe of him. The opposition were in awe of him, and the same with Cantona, same with Robson. Same with all the top leaders. You think you are our standout player, and there's a reason why you're doing so well. And then when we fought to play for England, you look at Tony Adams was pretty much like very much in the Roy Keane mould, wasn't he?
Yeah,
a leader. You know, I remember him at that Rome game. Remember the Rome against in Rome?
So Tony
and he's screaming.
Oh, he was brilliant, but he was loud in dressing room. Roy wasn't loud in dressing room.
No, Roy was not loud in dressing room.
But Tony Adams was
loud.
This is our patch. We're not getting beat. That was the first time I'd seen all that stuff. Whoa, what's going on there?
And then I went up to Newcastle, and Alan Shearer was a different kind of leader. He led by Quill. He was a bit quieter, but he knew his role. He was a top goal scorer, legend at Newcastle and in England. And they were just fortunate to be different. But for me, if I picked one, I'd pick the way Roy was. Only because I played so much with him and we knew him growing up. And it's funny. I went yesterday. I went for breakfast. Not yesterday, Monday, went for breakfast with him in a little cafe thing, and he's nearly bollocking the girl who brought the tea over because he's spilt the tea a little bit, and you're thinking, but that was him, you know. If something's not done right,
so it's not done properly.
And I think, I do think leadership is about setting examples. First of all, setting examples, and once you've got your examples and you bar that high, you can then start digging other people out. And I think that's what he did. As you know, in training. Even if you're late for functions, you'd have a go at you, and his leadership.
Not late for anything.
Yeah, no, his leadership, and he never did it either. So you get it.
I think Brian Robson. Look, we did play with him for long enough, but he was the one first who showed me about leadership.
Yeah,
like I say, looking after people, looking after players, not just worrying about their own game because they couldn't afford to. And I could never take responsibility for everyone else. I don't know why. I just couldn't do it.
I think you've got to be that kind of person as well to want to do it. You know, I can imagine you I know what you was like, and you'd hate it. And I was a little bit in between hating it and liking it. Football side, I was fine going on the pitch, fine in training, fine digging people out. I didn't like all the other side of it, what captains have to do, all these little meets. It wasn't for me. And like I say, I captained United very few times, but then I went to Newcastle, did it for 2.5 years, and it's extra pressure on you, like you say. You've got to make sure your standards are high all the time. You've got to make sure your performances 9 times out of 10 are there or thereabouts, and it is added pressure on you. Definitely.
Again, we didn't play with Eric for a long time, did we? But he was a captain. He was more of a leader by example, and I think he helped a lot of people at the club, not just the younger players. I think he's shown even a lot of older players how to be a professional footballer, really.
I was going to say
you think about going in the gym and practicing before, getting yourself stretching, going out 15 minutes before everyone else. It was a professionalism that I don't think anybody from the British Isles had seen.
I think if I put Roy and Eric there and there, they're the same kind of character, personal wise. No, they'd lose a temper, they'd do things you regret, they'd kick off for your players, you'd have a get sent off. Apart from that, one was you watched him to learn from him, and as an example, you'd watch how Eric did things and you'd learn from him. With Roy, you'd watch and listen, because Roy was a lot more vocal than Eric was. But again, I would never separate them and say one was better than the other, because we're both phenomenal leaders, but in total different ways. And I think until you get into football at a high level, you don't understand that, because you think every captain is the verbal one, and Bex was not verbal in England. I spoke about Eric wasn't verbal. I had a couple of captains in and out. Michael Owen, captain at Newcastle, he wasn't really verbal, a little bit, but not a lot. So again, unless you've actually played at a high level, you don't understand the difference. And if you ask a normal supporter on the terrace what is a captain, they'd always pick a Roy Keane or Tony Adams all the time, or Brian Robson. And I don't think that's always the case.
Yeah, do you know, when I look at back at captains now, the two that stand out for me are obviously Roy and Brian Robson.
Yeah,
and I think in different ways. Because I'd look at Brian Robson, maybe because we was coming through at totally different ends of the scale. I mean, he's 37, 38 retiring, we're 18, 19 coming into the team. I get the impression he's looking after you.
Yeah,
I never felt that with Roy.
No,
do you know what I mean? He was a brilliant captain, led by example, but I never thought if you made a mistake, he'd say, put his arm around you or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure Brian Robson wouldn't do a lot of the time as well. But they were the two for me that stood out in little bits of different ways.
I think Brucey was a lot like that, looking after us.
Brucey, sorry, I forgot about Brucey. Brucey was the same, but Brucey could give you a bollock as well.
Absolutely,
I think Brucey and Brian Robson were probably
same
very
school,
similar, old school, and say we was a bit closer in age to Roy, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, he wouldn't put the arm around you as much because not so much younger.
Do you know what? I didn't want it really.
No. What was Nev like as a captain? Because I wasn't around when he was captain much. What sort of?
Nev was more of a captain off the pitch.
Yeah,
you talk
yeah,
about
all the stuff you don't want to do.
All the stuff you don't want to do, going to the manager and speaking about bonuses or asking for a day off or asking for a day out, asking for a night out. I think that was more. I don't know how Nev feels about it, but that was just the way I felt. I never really. Possibly could have just grown up with him. I don't know. You might have younger players or older players think something totally different about him. It's just because we knew him. We've been there every day with him, so didn't feel any different. Giggs had a spell as captain as well, didn't he? I just didn't feel any different, really.
No, it's not. There is different ones. I can imagine Nev going asking the manager for a night out, and the manager saying, "No, I'm Nev going." All right. I imagine Roy going and say, "We're going out. We're not asking. We're going out."
Yeah,
the different leaders is their example.
Yeah, it was always that leader, guys. When he was. I seem, maybe this meant because we're the same age, but I was always more the leader off the pitch.
Yeah,
Gaz.
Yeah.
Really. Don't get me wrong, he was brilliant on the pitch and good with players. And he again had high standards, and he demanded stuff out of everyone who was on the football pitch. But you saw him as more almost a politician side of stuff, with the manager, with the staff, and trying to arrange stuff. Trying to get everything organised, I suppose.
He loved everything to be right for the lads, didn't he? He never cares.
Yeah,
he cares about his team.
Very much the same way as Brian Robson did.
Yeah, and if he was having a Christmas do, he'd make sure it was always fine. There was no issues. The security was. He loved all that, didn't he? Make sure he was responsible.
Yeah.
So for me, I wasn't there when he was captain, but from as a youth team player, he was so mature for his age, 15, 16, 17. He was like a 28-year-old man.
Yeah, he was.
He did everything right on a pitch.
Was he the foreman as well when he was apprentice?
He was a foreman as well. He was the one that used to go and tell Eric that the jobs are all done. So he was. I think if it weren't for Roy being at the club, Gary would have been a Man United captain at 25, 24, 25. Yeah. He definitely would have been.
And if it weren't for Bex, he would have been captain of England for a long time.
Yeah, I think he was, like you say, it worked really great for us because off the pitch, he did everything, didn't he? He sorted everything out. On the pitch, I do think Nev gets a bit, listen, he's the best right back England's ever had.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets a lot of respect for how good he was, but he was a lot better than people give him credit for, Nev.
Yeah.
He was an unbelievable footballer. Like, ridiculous.
Well, they all talk about these fullbacks now are wingers. He could do that.
Yeah, easily.
Brilliant on the ball, great cross of the ball, great pass.
And he got better with age, Nev. Yeah. Until he blew up at that West Brom game. That was the end of it for him. But he got better the older he got, Gary. And
he's a bit of a quiet captain, wasn't he, on the pitch, I'd say?
Yeah.
Although you'd never describe him as quiet.
No, certainly not quiet.
I can't think on the pitch on the pitch of him being like a loud shouter or aggressive or anything.
He was deep, Gary, wasn't he? Even his warm-ups was all like.
It
was always intense, and you can imagine being on the pitch being the same.
You'd be thinking he'd be worried more about his performance than everyone else's.
You can imagine the younger lads that probably about 10, 15 years younger than us, loving Nev. Not like we loved the other lads that looked after us, because he's caring. He's a caring lad, and
so he does some great stuff. Yeah,
it's like our dad. He's the same age as him. He tells us what to eat when we go out to dinner. But he's literally, he's a born leader, and even now in the way he is in his business life, he just loves being organised. He loves being in the centre of the conversation, and he would tell a photographer.
He loves control. Right?
Yeah, control freak. He'd tell a photographer how to take a picture. He'd tell a chef how to make a pie. He's that kind of character. But he's been like that since he was 13, like when we first met him.
You couldn't let him tell us on the forward how to score a goal, though.
He'd try.
Oh, he'd try.
He'd try and tell us on the forward. Yeah,
that's the wrong finish.
Yeah. try this one.
Yeah.
Shut up now.
Leave it, guys.
Yeah. I think with Roy as well, obviously, even if he was playing cards or a quiz, he was always aggressive and wanted to win. And, if the team weren't doing well, he'd be bollocking you playing cards or the quiz. His leadership was totally different to other people. And you mentioned a while ago, Scholes, about, when the young lads, Nanny in particular, and some of the foreign boys coming to see Sir Alex's way of digging people out. Did you see it with any players? I certainly did see some players really wilter with some of Roy's reactions to them. So, I mean, Jesper Blomqvist sticks out to me. I think he's a shivering wreck when Roy went at him a couple of times. Did you see a lot more of that?
I'm sure there were quite a few, yeah. I can't think of any examples where I saw lads actually crumble and fade away from it. But, again, I go back to... He was your manager on the football pitch, and I think he was just like that with everybody. He expected the highest standards, as you say, whether it's a game of cards, whether it's the quiz. Remember the quiz nights used to have in Europe? You used to go mad if you didn't win. And if you weren't on it in training, again, it'd come down in like a tour. It must have been great for the managers to work with.
Yeah.
Must have been amazing. He must have thought, well, not that much I have to do it. Do you know what I mean? I've got Roy Keane on there, who's everyone's a little bit in fear of anyway. So it must have been ideal for him.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I remember him having a real pop at Phil one day. I think it was in the corridor in Leeds, going up the tunnel, and I thought, you just think that's a bit too much. That because Phil would never have gone back at him ever in a million years, and he went at him, and I was just thinking, it's a bit near the ball. But then Phil's second half was brilliant. So is it right or is it wrong? I don't know.
Well, some people would go back in, some wouldn't. Would they? Yeah. I think you'd probably go back, wouldn't you? I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. I think because I was so close to him, I'd go back at him. It wasn't wanting to fight or anything. It was just a case of not having that from a mate. You know what I mean?
And it didn't matter. There was no different treatment for anybody else, was there?
No. I think
everybody got the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was. And by the way, such a good lad. Away from it all, you have a laugh and a joke with you and go out. But literally, he got in that zone on the football pitch. It was like, veins popping out of his neck. He'd gone on it, totally different. But yeah, I'm quite fortunate. I would never take anything personal with any of the people that had come at me. You have a pop at you. It's not personal,
especially not with someone right, because you knew whatever he was doing was best for the team and the best for everyone else.
Yeah.
So sometimes you had to take a bollocking, didn't you?
Yeah, no, definitely. But the way he was, like, I used to find it funny at the cards, because we'd sit at the front with him and the manager just round each other at the back.
Yeah.
And I remember getting shouted down at, Butty, come on, playing cards. And I'm like, I'm not playing cards on a bus, nearly having a fight on the way to Newcastle or Sunderland for 2.5 hours. I'd rather sit at the front.
That could easily happen.
I just try to sit at the front and just chill out. I don't want to be getting involved in all that.
Do you know what? Looking back, I don't remember Roy and the manager ever arguing in a dressing room.
No, I don't. I don't
think Roy ever had a bollock or anything, did he?
Not that I remember, no. I think
he might have had a bollock when he was younger.
When he got sent off a couple of times, he'd have a bollock. I remember he tried to hit Alan Shearer at Newcastle, he had a bollock, he was giving the goal then. But literally,
performance-wise,
not performance-wise, no. A bit like you, he was a teacher's pet. You and Roy and Eric got away with murder.
Brian Robson was our hero, wasn't he? And just to see him. Do you know what I mean? In the dress, you said the clip before.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-bedroom house, wasn't it?
It was.
So you saw everyone, but to see Brian Robson.
Yeah, we come from school at 16 to being friends, if you like, with your hero. But yeah, Robbo for me was like just God. He was like,
but when you talk about off the pitch stuff as well,
yeah,
he was everything.
Everything. Yeah. Remember when we used to get told? When we was 18, lads, 12 o'clock, team meeting, 12 o'clock, Wednesday, Bull's Head. If you're a minute late, you're in trouble.
Bring your jeans to training.
Bring your jeans to training. We're going
get
straight
a taxi
out.
to training.
Remember? Yeah. I mean, we was 18. And my night out would have been a few bottles of K-cider.
Remember when we went to Marbella with the first team?
Don't want to talk about that.
We were 18 years of age.
I know, yeah.
And we were going out drinking.
That's the first time I played golf. Remember the first time I played in a golf course?
Yeah.
Played golf, me and you smashed the goat cart buggy.
How did the manager let us go out with them all?
I don't know. It was hard work, like, because they could drink, couldn't they?
Oh, it was proper. Well, when we were coming through, it was like all day, wasn't it?
But pints for like 10 hours.
You used to drink all day and go and train there after.
No, not for me. I couldn't do that. Not. I tried.
Great leaders.
Give it a good go.
We're taking the young lads out with us.
The proper leaders. But no, you're right. Robbo was more of a clubman, if you like.
Yeah.
Clubman, did everything. Even when he wasn't playing,
to be fair, he wasn't playing that much, was he?
No.
So he was more.
He was ready to hand the mantle over when it to Keeney.
Yeah,
and that's what Roy took it on and did it his own way.
Taking it over from.
Sorry, Brucey. Yeah, Bruce took it. But I think Brucey was probably a bit harsh on Bruce. But
Bruce was bollock, yeah.
Yeah, bollock, yeah. But I think Brucey was probably only captain when I was there, probably. But 18 months, 2 years.
There's different types of bollockings, isn't there?
Yeah.
One with Bruce because you knew he was a nice man.
Yeah.
Then you're not bothered. But see, I say you're not bothered. You're still scared. Frank Texas, Steve Bruce, Jesus Christ, Captain Man United, someone you just see on telly. And then there was a Roy bollocking, which was
Keeney would go personal with you as well, wouldn't he? Keeney would go personal and go right at you, whereas Brucey wouldn't. He was really like just having a go at you and get your levels up and do it right. Whereas Keeney would go at you to a point where you're thinking,
he's going to kill me.
He's like a lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
I think for me as well, with Brucey, how he managed that. I said before, my favourite Man United team of all time was the '94 squad, and the amount of leaders and personalities in that dressing room. I mean, the likes of Brucey was managing that, and obviously Robbo was still around, so he'd be helping out. To manage that, to captain that and lead that must have been really, really tough for him.
Yeah, it must have been, like you say, some of the characters in that team. Paul Ince in that team.
Paul Ince, Steve Bruce, Roy Keane,
Mark Hughes,
Schmeichel,
Cantona. There was so many leaders in and around that. And how do you probably? Would you say he didn't need to do that much because there were that many leaders there? Yeah. Again, we spoke before about all-round captains. I think Steve Bruce was like that. He was all-round captain.
Performance-wise, every week, 8 out of 10.
The only person who used to argue with was Peter, wasn't it?
Pete, yeah. Do you know who else I thought was a great leader for us? He was never really captain, Brian McClare.
Chucky,
in a different way.
A little bit, didn't
he? But in a different way. We talk about different captains. He was the worst trainer I've ever seen. He was shocking in training. I laugh about it. But when you talk about looking after the young lads, he did all that. He did our contracts. He come in and helped us with our contracts. He was brilliant bloke to us. And again, he was just another leader within that dressing room. And if you think about that squad, there must have been 5 future captains: Schmeichel, Cantona, Bruce, Robson, Keane. Giggsy was in there as well.
In that as well.
It's amazing, really, the amount of leaders in that team. But he managed. Because I don't think within that team, a Roy would have gone down well. There'd have been a lot of fights at half times. Too many characters in that team. Whereas when Roy come into our team, we was all younger. We was all looking up to him, and he.
It'd be interesting to see what Roy thought about that. Do you know, what did he take from? Because he come into that team younger, didn't he?
22.
As a young player.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have been as aggressive with other people. No. He just couldn't have been.
No.
It'd be interesting to see what he learned from. People like Robson and Cantona and Steve Bruce.
Yeah.
There's no way he could have behaved like he did with them.
No, it'd be different. And that's what I think Bruce's captaincy, leadership, whatever you want to call it, was different and clever with that amount of dynamics. But like you said, how much would he have had to manage them lot? Because it was they knew what they were doing on the pitch. I mean, Paul Ince, the England captain at times. They're all
just
leaders, weren't they?
Yeah.
We're all different captains we've worked under, or played under, should I say. The English one must be a difficult one because I think I've done it for half a game when the captain's gone off. But to deal with that dynamic where you're only in a camp for maybe 10 days maximum, unless you go on a tournament, it's difficult because you don't know the characters of certain players. You're getting to see them, and it's not really a full-time job, if you like, with the captain, the players. But the bigger thing with England, which I've seen and you obviously seen, is like the sponsorship side of England's huge. You got the press detail you got to do all the time. It's such a massive job to do. And I was there. You probably did more than me, but Tony Adams was captain. I was there. David Seaman sometimes, Alan Shearer, and Bex. There's a lot of captains there that are all different characters. But for me, it's such a difficult job and I think that's a more difficult job than having someone in a club, because in a club you know the characters, you get to know people over the course of time. With England, you don't really do that. I mean, I played with loads of people at England and I still don't know the character now.
Yeah. I think with England it takes a I think you have a presence about it, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned 4 or 5 names there, and you think every one of them's got a presence, whether it's on the football pitch or off the football pitch. I think it was probably equally as important in them days, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think going into that, when I first went in, Tony Adams was captain, and I'd never seen anything like that. I'd seen obviously Brian Robson, who was an England captain as well, but he'd obviously finished with England back then. But all the stuff he was shouting before a game, I remember us looking at each other.
I look at thinking, what's going on here? He's using all his energy. He's not even knackered by the time he gets on the pitch.
He'll be wrecked. But again, he had that. You've got to be a certain character, because you were managing captains, really. He was captaining captains, because I'm sure there's players from other clubs whose captains would have been there, and they were all different. I think Alan Shearer, I like playing with. I love playing with Alan. But again, he was just a quiet captain. He might say, "Come on, boys," or something during the game. But he had that presence about him, like you said, with the commercial stuff, especially with England. That was a big thing. Bex as well. Bex was really quiet and wasn't really. Never saw him as a captain there. You never really saw him as a captain, but again, he had that presence about him to be a captain.
Yeah, I think
of England.
Apart from Tony Adams was an unbelievable player. But some of the players in that team, like Gascoigne and people, were better. But the rest of them, like a Shearer or a Beckham, it was always the star player was always captain. And you looked at the hit, then you got Gerrard, then you got John Terry. It was always seemed to be the best player was always captain of England. Whereas in the club, it was always the best leader was the captain. And I think it's totally different. But different characters in England, like you say.
That's maybe why you had to, because you had to. Maybe the manager thought, I've got to choose a leader where everybody respects his ability and what he is on and off the pitch, and maybe that was I wouldn't say Tony Allen wasn't the best footballer, was he? Do you think he was far and away the best leader?
So I think it's an interesting one for me. Do you think that's why? And I wouldn't say obviously Keane mate, and I wouldn't say he's failed, but do you think that's where it maybe blew up in Ireland with Keane, because he was captaining a team of people he wasn't with 24/7, and they didn't accept it like we accepted it. Do you think that could have been part of it?
I don't know why it blew up. I just. From what you heard and what you read, it's probably blew up because of the manager, and I don't think standards were anywhere near what you expected.
No, we know what
Roy's
like.
We talk about training grounds and equipment and travel arrangements and hotels. If that's not right, then Roy will see that's not right.
Yeah, and he'll
do what he's done.
And he'd been 24 hours a day at a club that makes sure that's all perfect. Because we had a great time at Man United, but one thing I'd say, we travelled brilliantly. All the hotels were perfect. Training, they never give us any excuses, did they? Where I think he would be going to an island camp, obviously with the World Cup. But we was there, weren't we? We was at the World Cup, and some of it wasn't ideal, was it? Some of it wasn't great.
No, it was terrible.
But if the standards aren't right, then it's going to blow.
I think all the players would have been like our players at Man United, that would have respected him massively, wouldn't they? I'm pretty sure they'd have been behind him, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them would have agreed what he was saying.
But didn't have the balls.
But they couldn't say it at the end. Couldn't do it and didn't do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think at United we would have.
Yeah, and the thing with England, it was always done right, wasn't it? Wherever we went, travel-wise,
you can't complain of that.
England was phenomenal. Man United was lucky, really. But I mean, I think it's total different kind of leadership in an international environment to a club. And I think with a club, you get as soon as you get to you go on pre-season tour. By the time you're off pre-season tour, you know all the new players. You've all been together 3 weeks. Your connection's there, and you know you're different. Everyone knows a standing in it. You knew your standing at the club. You knew how good you was. You knew your level of what you do and what you. I knew where I was. You do know your level you're at and where to pitch yourself within these meetings, within giving people a bollocking on the pitch, within I'm going to set an example on a training pitch or when I go to a function.
Yeah, well, exactly. Sometimes when you get older, when you get to your I'd say it's about late 20s, 30s. There comes a point where you have to help the players as well, whether you're captain or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, because you'll have young lads coming up to you saying, what do you think I should do in this position? And you do try and help it. It's not captaining, I suppose, because captaining's probably totally different, because you have responsibility for absolutely everything.
Yeah. If you look at other clubs around the world, like, for instance, I don't know, Juve, they had Del Piero, them kind of players that knew the football club. There's a time when you hand the baton over, isn't it? So we was always the ones that of being the young kids coming through and being taught. Then you get to, like you say, 27, 28, 29, and it's time for you to pass the baton on to the young ones, and then they get to a certain age and they do it. So leadership for me isn't just about the captaincy, it's about.
And then you see other characters coming on who coming through, you think he can be a captain, you think of Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Right, he can be a captain.
Yeah.
He'd be a captain, I think, very similar to Roy, really.
Yeah.
Standards would have to be amazing. If you didn't do it, he'd make sure he did it first.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it, it'd be all over. I think Rio was a good captain. All these young players that come up as well. Even though you're not a captain yourself, you have to show them what it's like to be a Man United player and what the standards are expected every single day. And they soon learn that, don't they?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I was surprised when obviously, not surprised would not be the word, because obviously Betts at the time was the superstar of English football. He was obviously an unbelievable player. But we were surprised when he first got put into the role, because remember it was when Peter Taylor took over.
No, not massively. As we spoke then, sometimes with England and international, it was about the best player or the most iconic player, and the best player at the time, the most iconic figure on and off the pitch was David Beckham, so that wasn't a massive surprise. I didn't really see him as a captain of a club team. No. I don't know how you felt about that. It was he'd lead by example, of course he was, on and off the pitch with England and United, but he's never really, not in that Brian Robson mould or Roy Keane or Steve Bruce mould, but he was a superstar. He was like massive for the team, and you could see why Peter Taylor would do that.
Yeah, I think he was only young when he did that. 'Cause I remember him picking a team
young
under
team, so he
25, 26.
Yeah, it was young.
So I think Bex was captain of that, and then he pulled back a little bit, and then he went captain again a bit later on. I think Peter Taylor only had 1 or 2 games, didn't he, in charge, and then somebody else came in. But literally, for me, he was Bex is perfect FA, isn't he? You know, he's ideal for it. Ideal, and the sponsors love him. Back then, he was obviously the golden boy.
He was the face of English football.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I suppose Gaz would have helped him a lot with it. You know,
probably always.
Gaz was a captain.
Yeah,
and we always thought Gary one day was going to be England captain.
Yeah,
you just couldn't see how he wouldn't be, and then you wonder what Gary thinks. Actually, you wonder, think, should I be captain then?
Never's like.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, never's like.
Never really spoke to him about it. He had England captain written all over him, didn't he?
Yeah,
more so than David Beckham.
He's like the vice president, Nevin. He's got all the crap, but don't have the shining light on him and the thing. But you can imagine him.
I'm sure he would have helped.
Helping, yeah. I can imagine him helping him and speaking to him. But he did that. He did that here, didn't he? I mean, when Bex used to, get into a bit of trouble with the gaffer, he was always the one going in with him for meetings and trying to calm it all down. And I'm pretty sure he did help out massively with England, to be honest with you.
How long was he captain for England for how many games? Well, it must have been a lot, mustn't it?
Well, he played 110 games, didn't he, Bex? Something like that. So he must have been captain for at least
50, 60 maybe?
40, 50, yeah, I'd say 40, 50. Which is an unbelievable feat, that, yeah. Unbelievable feat. For someone that, again, wasn't really a club captain until nobody else was there to do it.
Right, Nick, we played for some amazing captains, right? I want you to name your top 5.
Right, well, it's really difficult. I would say Tony Adams, because he was such a mate, but I only played 2 or 3 times with him. But the 2 or 3 times
more than that.
I didn't know. I didn't. I played 2 or 3 times with him. Not a lot, but yeah, he would have been up there. But because I didn't play much with him, I have to leave him out. I would go Shearer 5. Played a lot of times at Newcastle with him, and he was a really good leader up there because we had some bad times up there. Got relegation, and he was a good leader up there.
Did you get relegated with Shearer?
Yeah. Sure. He was manager when we got relegated.
Of course.
Yeah. So Shearer would be 5. It would then be Steve Bruce, because Brucey was brilliant. It was as kids growing up, and and an unbelievable player, and the goals he scored, everything about Bruce, even to this day, a great bloke and a really good captain for us. Eric, because he was Eric, and he was like.
We didn't play with Eric for long, did we?
Yeah, we did for 3 years, 2 or 3 years with Eric. Yeah.
I seem to remember it.
No, it was 2 or 3 years. The first time I played with Eric would have been Galatasaray.
Well, see, you came through a long time before.
Yeah, so I played I played at least 3 years.
I'd have had less time with him.
So I'll go Eric. Then it's definitely Robson Keane.
Which way?
Keane number 1, Robson number 2. Only because I think you said a while ago, it's because we got to Robbo at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He was my hero. He was my idol. Great leader, great bloke. But I didn't play a lot with him, and then I played so many years with Roy and watched him first hand close. And as a leader, I felt every time we went to a game, if Roy Keane was in our team, we got a really good chance of winning. And if Roy wasn't in our team, would be a lot less chance of winning. And that for me it was his genius. I remember playing games with Roy and lining up in a tunnel. And most of the teams that come to Old Trafford were beat before we even walked on the grass.
I think that'll be the same with Brian Robson, but I know what you're saying.
A different era.
We went with him for 10, 15 years.
But Keane is the best captain I've ever played with.
I'm going to start from 1, is that right? You're asking me the same question?
Ask you the best one. No, the best one last then.
No, I'll say it first, so I'll get confused. The best one's Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Because I did it for so much time with him, and he was a manager on the football pitch. The second one, Brian Robson. I think if I'd have played with him for 10, 15 years, he would have been without doubt number 1. Number 3, Steve Bruce. I felt like I played for him rather than with him. Again, it's like a manager. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. Number 4. God, we didn't play with that many captains, did we?
Eric.
Number 4. No, I'm going to say Gaz, number 4.
Nev.
Gary Neville, yeah.
I didn't play with him, so I can't.
Yeah, well, I played. Well, we played with him for all. Well, I played with him all my career. And I'd say it wasn't so much on the pitch, but off the pitch, the way he looked after people, looked after the younger players, especially. Spoke about and sorting contracts out for them. I think that was a massive part of it. And number 5, I'm going to say, look, Tony Adams, probably number 5. He'll be a number 1 in a lot of people's eyes, and as England captain, he was number one. So he played with Shearer, played with Becks, of course he did. But I think Tony Adams was by far and away the best England captain I played for.
That's it from football's greatest eras, and thanks to those of you who've watched and or listened to our show.
Leave a review or a rating and subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us where you get your podcast from. Has he got a chest?
Chill out, Paul.
No, I'm suspended.
Yeah, because you keep slide tackling, don't you, Paul?
Keep slide tackling. if they got up, nothing happened.
Yeah, he's done. Get rid of him. Yeah, rip him up. Get him out of there.
Oh, Michael. I can tell you two are not trying to look down. But
No, I can't actually go
I was
down.
like that when I was playing. That's not bad. Not bad, is it? I'm struggling there.
No. Yo, it's your boy H Black the Sauce, Harry Panera, and welcome to Beyond the 90. Now, this one's a special one for me. You guys know how much I love Paul Scholes, and we are here at the Scholes gym. I haven't seen him yet, so we're about to enter it in right now. Yeah, so guys, I'm not a nervous person, but this means everything to me. This is my childhood hero, so yeah, let's go. Why do I feel so scared? Alright, this is crazy. This is mental health. Wait, hold on, don't even have to open the door. Oh my God. Come here, Dad. No, come here. Come here. Oh my God. No, can I be honest with you, yeah? So I've been like wanting to meet this man for the longest. You know, you're actually like my hero, innit?
Thank you.
Oh God, Paul Scholes, we're here, Beyond the 90 with 5. Thank you for having me, brother.
No worries, welcome.
What's happening, brother? That's my actual brother. Come here, give me a hug, man. Don't be like that. How are you, Alicia? You okay, yeah? How are you? You're right. Come here, mum. Give me a hug as well, man. The whole family, part of the family now, man. How are you, darling? You okay? You're right, yeah. Well done, guys. This is incredible.
Thank you. You gonna have a look around?
Yes, I am. You gonna show me around?
Yes, come on then.
Come, let's have a little walk around. Talk to me about this. When was the idea, or how did you think about it to get it done?
It was in lockdown, really. Both my kids, as we just seen in there, really keen on fitness and strength. And Lissy was a netballer, Aaron with his football.
Yeah. What strikes me about you as a player as well, I speak about you being my hero as well, is because when I look at you, you don't look like an athlete, so to speak. Yeah. And I'm being with all due respect.
Thanks for that.
No. Thanks for that. But it's all about your mind. And I think when we speak about you a lot, we heard a lot of. I was on the train here. I was reading some stuff that some player said. Figo said that Paul Scholes was a ghost because on the pitch you couldn't get near him, and then off the pitch you never saw him.
I think I was just shy and nervous about it all, really.
Yeah.
I remember we used to do like media lessons when we were like 16, 17, and honestly, as soon as the camera came like this, I couldn't speak. And my voice just went. I just couldn't do it, and I didn't want to be there. And that was it, really. But a lot of people do say that, but once it came towards the end of my career, MUTV came and just said you had to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have much choice. So I soon got used to. Well, I'm not sure I'm used to it. I don't like it now that much.
Sorry,
it spoiled my day.
But that's, I think I mentioned some of the stuff that people have said about you is that, the Chavis, the Henrys, the Zidanes, the Peps. What does that do for you now when you look back on your career, that some of the greatest players that ever played a game look up to you very highly?
It's brilliant. Especially when you talk, them names you mentioned, these are the proper world-class players you talk about. And that was Zidane. I don't know if it's proven. I don't know if he actually said it. No,
it's true, Paul, man. I've been telling my friends every year.
I don't know if anyone's recorded them saying it, but look, there's quotes out there. Of course, there's from Xavi, Zidane, Iniesta, Guardiola, these type of people. But look, it's so nice and gives you a bit of a boost, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you think that right now, with the way football's going right now, that if you was playing in this era, you would have probably changed the way you are with the media, or would you still be the same in terms of just being a bit laid back a bit?
I don't think you get much choice now. I think you have to. I think you have to be prepared for it. You have to be rounded. I think there's still shy people now. Of course there is, but the game is so different now. It's so worldwide, and all the social media stuff. I don't think you can get away with much, can you? You can't get away with anything. So I think it'll have to be a little bit different.
Yeah. So I'm looking back at your career. You started off as a striker. which a lot of people don't know. You was number 10 for United when you first started.
Number 9, number 10.
Number 9. Yeah. Was that a dream of yours to be a striker, or did it change as time went on because you were such a player? You could play that could play in any positions, really.
Yeah, I was desperate to be a striker. I love scoring goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely love scoring goals for this under 16s. I'd say under 17s. The first game I ever played, actually, you used to have an A and a B team, which was, I think it was under 18s at the time.
Yeah.
But when I was still in school, at my last year at school, I actually played left back.
No way, you was left back?
Nobby Styles.
He was left back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobby Styles was man of the team.
Yeah.
And he played me left back against Liverpool away at Liverpool's training ground. And do you know what? I enjoyed it. I wanted to play anyway, but I love scoring goals.
Yeah.
I wanted to be centre forward. I wanted to win games.
And so the transition for you to then be a midfield player, how did that happen? What did Alex say to you? Was there any conversations about moving you around?
It wasn't Sir Alex really, it was Eric Harrison.
Okay.
Yeah, the youth team coach. I remember you used to go for meetings once a month just to see how you're progressing and stuff. Probably do the same thing now. And he said, I know you're playing centre forward, I know you're doing okay, I know you're scoring goals, but one day you'll be a central midfield player. And when you look at me, as you said before, I'm never an athlete. And I think as a centre midfield player, you've got to be an athlete. I never was. And probably more so in today's game, you have to be an athlete. But he saw that vision for me. And he was right. So I moved all over the place, really. I was a number 10, playing in the first team when I first got in, and gradually went back. Played a little bit on the left-hand side as well, when Giggsy was injured a bit.
Yeah.
Not obviously as a flying winger. That's not going to happen. But more of a central midfield player. And I had an eye for goal as well.
Obviously, we're going to talk more about football and stuff, but we are at this amazing gym, and I don't feel like you're able to show me what to do because you said you're injured and stuff. So I brought my twin brother Aaron come through to I think show me some stuff that I need to learn because I'm working big on my chest. Like, I'm trying to
got a chest press over here.
come and show me, and you can come and Paul as well.
I'll come have a look.
The technique as well.
Yeah, I'll come and judge you.
All right, I'm taking off now. No, leave the 20s on.
Go on.
No, I'll dash it.
60, that should be alright. So, you're going to get down here.
Alright.
You're going to press up.
There we go.
And then nice and slow, control it down. And then back up.
So can we get 60 on each side for me, brother?
Yeah, come on then.
You sure, Paul?
Yeah, come on, I'll give it
60.
No, I'm joking, bro. Come on, Aaron. Come on, talk to me. Alright, cool. So we're going to start off with...
Nice little warm up.
Yeah, a little warm up. Yeah. And then let it go down a little bit slower.
Yeah, control it on the way down.
Talk to me about the technique though.
Nice and slow on the way down.
Okay, nice and
strong
up. So strong up.
You squeeze your chest in when you get to the top of the
go.
Has he got a
Yes.
Chill out, Paul.
Harry, where's your chest?
I left it in the cab. I left it in the cab. Yeah, so I must be honest with you guys. I didn't come here for that because now I'm going. But talk to me though, Aaron. Like with this being in a place that is like like your dad said, it's not the best area and stuff. Yeah? How does it feel to be able to get people that probably would pay a lot for another gym membership to get a modern gym? But it's also in the area as well. Do you feel
it's good because obviously we lived there all our life, so it makes more sense to put something back into the community around here than go and set up in Manchester or something.
Yeah. And your dad's obviously told me that you and Alicia are basically running this stuff, and I've seen through her stories that you guys have built it. How does it feel to actually see it now?
I love it. I think we've done a good job. It's really nice.
Think you've done a good job? What are you being humble for? Look at that. I'm seeing lights. Gains the clock, as you can see. But I want to ask you though, because this is your dad. And you know how shy he has been as well, yeah? And I think for me, the reason why I came here as well, because I'm a massive fan of what he does as well.
He's not shy.
Yeah, that's what I think as well, Aaron. I think he's hiding it. Because every player that I speak to Rio, he goes, this guy's one of the funniest people ever. Like, do you think that it would have been better for him to showcase that? Or do you reckon you like the fact that he's kind of like reserved and keeps it with family and friends?
Well, he was quiet when he was playing, but I don't think he's really quiet now, is he? So
yeah, he's
making up for lost time.
He has. All right, cool. Show me some more stuff. What else have we got here that I can put some guns on?
Put some guns on. Really.
Yeah, let's do some shoulders.
Get up to about shoulder height there. Do 4 of them for me.
Is that all you want?
Don't let it touch.
Oh, don't let it. Okay, because usually in my gyms that's what we usually do.
All you want to do is when you come down here, just come down to it and just.
Aaron, that looks too light.
Oh, okay.
Keep going like that.
Aaron, that's too light, honestly.
No, he's got
it.
He's done him. He's shaking. He's shaking, Aaron.
7 over.
Yes, well done.
There we go. Listen, this means a lot to me because I've been trained by the Scholeses. You know what I mean? So this is going to change the way we do things. But Paul, I actually want to have a talk with you upstairs.
Yes.
And it's a good way for me to see upstairs as well.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks, Aaron. See you later. See you at dinner. Yeah, see you at dinner. So, class of 92, arguably the most talented group of players to come through England, being part of that as well, and seeing the trajectory that you guys had. What was it like early stages of actually knowing that, you know, you're going to be put into the first team with a manager that really trusted you as well?
Yeah.
How was that whole situation for you guys?
Obviously, there wasn't just the 5 or 6 of us. There was a squad of 15 or 16 that probably could have got into most teams. And as you said there, I think the most important thing was you had a coach who believed in, you had a manager, that believed in young players. But I think the whole club was like that, from Eric Harrison through to Brian Kidd, who brought us to the club. Originally, Nobby Styles, they were obsessed with youth team players because it was a big part of the history. You think of Busby Bames and all that stuff, and that was something that this manager wanted to carry on. And he trusted. You think of the players that he got rid of, to make room for us. You're thinking Mark Hughes, Andrei Konchelskis, Paul Ince.
Yeah, you kicked him out.
Oh, no, I didn't kick him out.
Did you kick those?
No. Brian Robson's obviously coming to the end of his career as well. So, yeah, just to be given that trust and belief that you can go on and replace them, and you know, there's no divine right that you're going to do that. You have to get a little bit lucky with it as well. But the manager had faith in us, and thankfully we repaid him.
And your first game for United, starting, putting on that jersey, what was that feeling like? And I'm sure that, you know, when you was growing up, you probably wished and dreamed that this was going to happen. But what was that first experience like?
Yeah, look, when you're a kid, I think we all wish and dream. I'm sure everyone does wish and dreams they're going to play for Man United. I certainly did, but you never really think it's going to happen. And then you go in as full time at 16, 17, 18, and then it prepares you for it. Really, it's not as the high as you think it is, really, because you've been in around players, you've been training all the time, you know what's expected of you. But to play a game, I was nervous. Don't get me wrong, and I always like to be nervous. I see some players now. I always did a Q&A once with Nicky and Ryan. They said they never got nervous before games, and I didn't like that. I wanted to feel a bit nervous. I'm playing for Man United. I'm playing in front of 75,000 or some big away games where you have to win all the time. So I always felt being nervous helped me a little bit. But look, to play for Man United was just a dream. If I'd have just done it one time, I'd have been happy. I'd have been so happy. Yeah.
But then you said that you was nervous and stuff, but it didn't show in your performances. Did you ever get to a stage where it was like, I'm meant to be here, this is normality? Always felt nervous?
I always felt nervous. Playing at 38 years of age, still. I never felt I deserved to be there. I think once you start to think that you deserve to be there and you should be there and that's my place, that's when I think you get a little bit complacent. And I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to take the eye off the ball. I always wanted to have pressure on myself to perform, to make sure I stay in the team every day. And look, you go through spells in your career, but it doesn't happen. And then it's up to you to try and fight back and make sure you get your place back, because you're at Man United, you're the best club in the world. So there's always going to be competition there, do you know what I mean? So,
watching you, I didn't think there was any competition. Like, I know that there was players, like Nicky Butt that was in your position. Carrick joined a bit later as well, and you guys formed a great partnership. But I just always felt like you was a mainstay part of that team. And I think a big indication for that was when you, quote unquote, retired and you came back. I'll never forget, it was a game, I think, against Southampton, where Van Persie scored a hat-trick. Yeah. And you came on half-time. And his post-match interview, they asked him about the game, and he goes, what changed in the game? And he goes, Paul Scholes came on. Like, did you feel like when you came on, your job was to keep the ball and just keep the ball ticking and so on and so forth and create chances?
At different stages of my career, yeah. That was definitely a time when, there was players that come to the club when you're 35, 36 or 37, 38 as it was. I think, God, I wish I was younger. God, I wish I could go and link with Robin Van Persie or Wayne Rooney or these type of players. But then you have to realise what you're good at and what you can do. And to control the game, control play, became my biggest strength. And I just think by getting control in the middle of the pitch, it helped everything, especially in that game.
I want to go back to the first call-up. You get the call, I'm starting. What's going on in your head? What's going on in your families? What's the conversation happening with your parents? Like, how was that for you? Do you remember that?
I mean, the first game Port Vale away, obviously, which is it was a League Cup game, so it was the first time the manager played all the kids, and the manager never really named the team till an hour and a half before.
Wow!
So there's no time to speak to family. There's no time to get nervous. We had half an idea the day before. I didn't like knowing. Some players like to know days in advance if they're playing. I didn't like to know. I was thinking, right, hour and a half before, do me. I don't care. I'd rather have that little bit of suspense in me that tells me that I'm going to play or not.
Yeah. So again, with like you've then started to play, become more regular and stuff, and then we've had a lot of great midfield players for Man United, the likes of Veron and Carrick and so forth. But when Veron signed for United, did you feel at any stage that okay, cool, my position may be under threat here?
Yeah, definitely. Well, when Veron signed, because we were at that stage of my career where I was thinking about going forward a lot and attacking from midfield. We were very similar players, and I loved him. I thought he was an unbelievable footballer from watching at Lazio, and we signed him £28-30 million, and I thought, yeah, that's probably I might have to go now. Well, you do, of course you do, because you've signed such a brilliant player. Thinking, can I live up to that? He's such an athlete. Different mentality, isn't it? You can say, right, that's it, I'm going to go see the manager, I'm not playing. Or you put your head down and try and play. But the way our midfield worked, I couldn't really play with Veron because we were both too similar. Do you know what I mean? If we played together, it could be a disaster. I played with Anderson at times, disaster. It couldn't happen. I needed to have the right person next to me, and Roy Keane was perfect for me. Nicky Butt was perfect. Michael Carrick.
Yeah.
So I'd say, brilliant. You've got to have that right blend, and me and Veron together, there just wasn't going to be space in that team for both of us.
You just mentioned three incredible players in midfield that you played with, Nicky Butt, Carrick and Keno. I would like to ask, out of the three, who do you reckon you had the most success with, or who did you enjoy playing with the most, and why?
I couldn't split them really. I love playing with all of them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I needed a certain type of midfielder next to me. And now Roy we just seemed to, we gelled well. People say Roy was a holding midfielder, but Roy was all over the place.
Yeah.
I always say now when we talk about an attacking midfielder and a holding midfield player, when we're doing TV and stuff, I say, to be a midfield player for Man United, you've got to be able to do everything. You have to be able to attack, you've got to be able to defend, and I think Roy was the epitome of that. And it's not until later where obviously you can't do both, and you have to use your brain a little bit, that you think, right, one of us might have to stay here, might have to sit. And especially in European games, because European games in midfield was tough.
Yeah.
Because they were always trying to outnumber you in that middle of the pitch, especially your Barcelona's, your Real Madrid's. So you had to be more disciplined than that. And the manager, he always said to me, look, you've got to be more disciplined. You can't go flying forward all the time trying to score goals. And I didn't get it. I didn't like it. Because you think, I'm not contributing. I'm here to try and score goals and help us score goals and help us win games. But he said, no, you're doing far better if you stay and control the game. I remember doing it, the first time it happened was Bayern Munich at home. Great team. Stefan Effenberg, all that team. And they hardly went over the halfway line. And I thought, I've done nothing in that game. Hated it, didn't enjoy it. I haven't got forward, I haven't had a shot, I haven't tried to score a goal. And the manager said after the game, perfect. Exactly what I want from you. And it wasn't from that day on, I was probably like 28, 29 then maybe, so getting a little bit older anyway. And it was then that I realised that there is a place in the team for you as you get older and playing a different style of football, which I probably changed the way I played 3 or 4 times throughout my career. And I'd say from 30 onwards, it became really enjoyable.
So in terms of balance and perfect partners and stuff, you for England, you potentially would have been playing with Gaza, if not for him not being able to make the squad and stuff. And I remember England were playing with a 3-5-2 with Glenn Hoddle. That system, how did you find yourself being, because they had to play you, and I think you were such a good player that you ended up playing on the left and stuff. What was that situation like for you in terms of, did you feel comfortable playing in those positions, or was it like, I just want to represent England, so I'll play anywhere?
Well, whatever team I play for, I'd play anywhere, whether it was England or not. There was some
with Hoddle, I did really enjoy it. That was when I first came into the squad. He saw me as, I don't say a replacement for Gascoigne because he is impossible to replace. And I think I did actually play a couple of games with him, not many, because he was on the way out really. But again, probably similar to that Veron thing, I probably couldn't have played in the same team as him, if you know what I mean. Although with different players a little bit with Gascoigne, because he was a magician, of course he was. But I never really liked playing a three midfield, if I'm honest with you. Even towards the end of my career, I didn't like it, because I was just used to a two all the time. I could feed off Roy, or I could feed off Nicky, or Michael Carrick again. I never ever got used to it. I always felt when you play three midfield, it became a little bit tippy-tappy, like little 5-yard passes, 10-yard passes, almost the way, I'm not going to say Barcelona, well, I am going to say Barcelona, but it was nowhere near as good as that. And I always felt it ruined what I liked to, which was pass the ball forward and run forward and pass the ball wide and get in the box. And I always felt the three midfield was a little bit too congested. I didn't really like it. But it's very important you play with it. I think it's quite important for me, who I played with. As I said, I was lucky to have the best partners, and not just them partners. There was also forward players we had. The forward players were sensational. The wide players were Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Cristiano coming. And you think of the four forwards we had: Sheringham, Solskjaer, Cole, York. Later on, you've got Van Nistelrooy, you've got Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez. To be in the midfield,
He was a lucky guy, you know.
It can't be that difficult, can it?
Yeah, no,
honestly,
no.
it can't be that difficult. Playing with players like that is so easy.
You say that though, but I look at it from, again, I didn't play the game, I didn't play it to your level, of course, but you made it look so easy. So for me to hear that is very it's wild, because it didn't look like it. I think you mastered it really well with your performances and being able to just play wherever you played, but very, very good and a high quality. I never felt like your quality dipped when it comes to
it did at times. It definitely did. Of course, there were times in your career when you're not having a good time, but as we mentioned before downstairs about me being an athlete, I am the last person you'd ever, how do you know by looking at me? I can tell you I'm not trying to look down, but I
can't actually go.
I was like that when I was playing. But I was never ever an athlete, so I had to have something else. I had to have a brain, I had to be clever, I had to be wise about how to get space, how to make space, where to pass the ball. I had to have that in the game, because if I didn't have that, I had nothing.
I'll be honest, Paul, I've just done, as you can see, 140 minutes. So I think it's only right. We go to the bikes, legs and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised. There's so much space here, you know?
Yeah.
So much space. This is good for me, though, because it's got the little...
This is hard, this. Have you done this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? The assault bike, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to watch it.
you just have a little seat on it. So one thing I like about this gym, Paul, is that there's a lot of, machines here that probably you never used, ever. Would you ever did you like the bike? Is there anything in the gym that you was like, I like this, I don't mind it?
If there was a football there, I play a bit of two-touch.
Yeah.
We were footballers, remember?
Yeah, of course.
That's what I used to say to everyone who's going to the gym. You're here to play football.
Yeah. It's only right that we speak about probably the most monumental part of your career, which was the treble. And the team was very, very young. I think he was around 25 at the time as well. How did you feel? Did you feel like you was at maybe the peak of your powers? Did you feel like as a team coming from the class of 92, you felt established as players, but not just in England, but across the world as well?
I don't think it was ever something we thought about. We knew we were a good team.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and there's a group of lads together, all around the same age. As you said, 25, 26, 27, there's obviously still a bit of experience in the team. You think of Peter Schmeichel was in the team, obviously. But to grow up in that team was it was special, and people always say, what was the best team you played at? I always say that team. I know people have different opinions. Gary Neville has a different opinion. I think he preferred the 2008 team, But that team was unreal. I always say, I mentioned it over there before on the treadmill, that I always think about the forward players in your team. The forward players in that team, as a collective, were unbelievable. You could have two of them on, any two, it didn't matter which two. They could start for an hour, if it weren't going great, the other two come on and win you the game. It was just... And do you know what, defensively, we probably wasn't great.
Yeah.
I say we wasn't great.
We had brilliant defenders, but they probably didn't get that much protection. But everyone's gone everywhere. We just want to score. We wanted to score goals, and that's what the manager instilled in us. That's what he wanted from us, and it was suited to all of us.
And that route to the treble, did at any time you feel during the season, I think we got something here, boys? Or was it like a game at a time kind of vibe? And was the manager doing his best to keep you guys grounded just because of the age that you guys was in as well?
Yeah, well, we're at a good age, really. At 25, you're thinking we've probably got a lot of games behind us, so we're quite experienced as well. And there was some amazing teams around at that time. I don't think there's as many now.
Yeah.
But if you look back then, the teams you had to play against, you think you're Bayern Munich, Juventus, AC Milan's. And I'm just naming big clubs here, but with their players.
Yeah.
I saw the AC Milan team the other day that we played. I think we beat them once, and they beat us. It was unbelievable. The Real Madrid team we played against, the Galacticos, is unbelievable teams.
I'll never forget R9, what he did at Old Trafford.
Oh, sensation. R9, there was Figo, there was Raul, there was, who else was there? There were Brent Redondo at a time as well. The teams were sensational, but we felt we had a team that we were confident in our own ability. We felt like we could beat anybody.
Yeah. So you go and you win the Premier League, then you go against Newcastle, which you scored in the final.
Yeah.
At that stage, when you go to Barcelona for the final, where's your head at as a team? What's the team talk like? What's the atmosphere in the change room? Because you're 2 titles, you've got 2 trophies in the bag.
Yeah.
This is to make history.
Well, this was a big one.
Yeah.
And obviously I weren't playing, I was suspended, I was suspended.
Yeah, because you keep slide tackling, don't you, Paul? Yeah, you keep slide tackling.
was crying, that's why. I don't even touch him. Keep slide tackling. That was something the manager used to say to me every time before we went out for a game.
Yeah.
I used to shake everybody hand as you walked out the door, watch your tackling. He said, concentrate, watch your tackling every time I went out.
When you used to tackle, the way you used to walk off was as if nothing happened.
Innocent.
I loved it.
Well, nothing did happen. If they got up, nothing happened.
Yeah. But yeah, so team talk, what was that like for you?
Team talk, can't remember.
So nervous.
Well, no, because I weren't playing. I was really relaxed about it. But obviously you're nervous about it because that was the big one. Getting to the other 2, I'm not saying we were confident that we were going to do them because they went to the last day. Well, obviously the league went to the last day against Tottenham. We went behind.
Yeah.
I got a big bollocking at half time actually. Against Tottenham, I'd missed about 5 sitters. I really should have scored, and then the manager went mad at me at half time because I'd missed them.
Did he go mad at you quite a lot?
No.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
I know you're going to say that.
Yeah, I heard that you was like
golden child.
Yeah, teacher's pet. Oh yeah, we're not going to argue with Scholes. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so no, he weren't happy at half time. Obviously, we managed to turn it around, didn't we?
Yeah.
The Newcastle game, the FA Cup. Well, I don't know what it was about Newcastle, but we always felt confident. We always felt we could beat them. And they had a good team. I think Shearer, Ferguson, Dietmar Hamann, Gary Speed. They were a really good team. I always felt you'd win that. The big one, obviously the major one, was playing in a new camp against Bayern Munich. Was the big one because they were a sensational team. They were brilliant. Talk about all these teams. Bayern Munich were brilliant. So that was the big one. The manager was quite relaxing with these big games. I think we probably went into these team talks thinking, right, what's going to happen here? He's going to name the team. Who's going to be left out? And probably a bit apprehensive, but I think it made you feel. As it did with every team talk, it was more motivational, really. And do you know what? I can't remember the things to say. I always remember thinking, going into them, what's going to happen here, and coming out of them thinking, yeah, ready to go here. Ready to go. It was just the way he spoke was so uplifting and motivating that it got you ready to play.
So you're in your grey suit, you're watching, I remember, you're watching it gets to 89 minutes. Do you think this is gone? Or do you feel like there's something there?
We always felt we could win from any position. Oh, not any position. Obviously, if you're 2-0 down, then 2 or 3 down, you're knackered. But this was against a proper team, a German team. It doesn't really happen, does it? But I always believed, once we got 1, we'll get 2.
whatever game it was. Whether you're playing at Old Trafford, whether you're playing away at Port Vale, whether you're playing away in the Champions League final, we always, once we got one, to come back from a draw was never enough. It was never enough. And I even see now teams, and it winds me up, it probably winds every United player who play for Sir Alex up, that when they get an equaliser in the 90th minute, they all go and celebrate. They run to the corner. It's the last thing we do. The manager go mad. You go ballistic. You get the ball, you get back, you try and score it again. I always remember once, funnily enough, probably going off track a little bit here, he was playing Tottenham away.
It's never off track.
He was playing Tottenham away. I was in the stand, I wasn't playing. And we were 1-0 up. Spurs equalised in the last minute. And they're all celebrating, like I just said. And remember the lad who played, was it Freund, Stefan Freund?
Stefan, the German player,
Yeah, the German player. He was like a assistant coach for him, and the ball came over to him. And he just booted the ball over the stand. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, where's your decorum? And where's your balls to go on and try and win the game?
Yeah.
And that always resonated. That resonated with me. Yeah, and that was the difference between other teams.
Yeah.
You never celebrate equalisers. You try and win.
And then we go and do it. Of course, Ollie and Sharon are going to create history for us. But I want to go a bit further. We're going to go back a bit. How does that compare to 2008? Because you probably, you spoke about some of the players that have played at Old Trafford against us. You speak of R9, you speak of Messi, Ronaldinho. And that game was, I think, the defining moment for our season. And you go and score an absolute smasher of a goal. And I think you spoke about it, you said you didn't think you hit it cleanly.
No, I didn't know.
But it went top bins.
Yeah.
What was that like, beating that Barcelona? Obviously, they ended up becoming the best team in Europe, you caught them at an early stage. What was that like, getting into the final because of that game?
I don't think I've ever had a feeling like it.
Wow.
For days after it. Honestly, it was just so... I was just so excited all the time. I don't think I slept for 3 or 4 days after it because... I'm not saying it weren't down to me. Of course it weren't down to me. But it was just one goal over 2 games that decided it. And look, it was a little bit of a miss kick. Of course it was. It was a slice off the outside of my foot. But I knew once I hit it, I could just see. It was just going away from the goalkeeper. But it was such an important goal, really, because, as you say, to be special teams. At Barcelona, Messi, I remember going there against Messi. What do I do? How do I stop this, man? It's a yellow card. He's just flying past me. But no, we got through that, and then Chelsea was the next big thing to get through.
That was a tough game as well. It looked very difficult to win that game as well. But again, it's always like we always do it the hard way. We always have drama in that. Again, final penalties. Fingers crossed, or do you think again there's something about us that's different to Chelsea?
Again, this might sound a bit weird. Even before the day of the game, I'm a bit different to people, mate. So I might think a little bit differently. And I thought, how can Abraham Grant beat Sir Alex Ferguson's team? No, it sounds stupid. But I'm not even thinking about the players. Because Chelsea were a brilliant team.
Yeah, they were.
You think of Lampard, John Terry, Peter Cech in goal. They were a brilliant team. Drogba up front, Ballack. It was a sensational team. But I just thought, looking at the bench, I thought, Abraham Grant can't beat Sir Alex, and there's no way. And it's a stupid way to think. So of course it's possible. Any manager can beat anybody. Well, that was just the way I was thinking that night. And again, it gets to penalties. I think we missed some chances in extra time. It should have never really got to penalties. We should have won the game. And then you get to penalties and you think, again, 2 great goalkeepers. But our lads took some brilliant penalties. Giggs' penalty, Anderson. Brilliant penalties. And obviously Edwin saved the most important one. But John Terry obviously slipped.
Done a little slip, didn't he? Should never have slipped, mate. I'm going to give you some times, because these are games that I think were incredible games and how difficult they were, but also how great you played in it. 2004 against France in the Euros, it's you against Vieira. Now, I've seen clips of that game because I watched it, but I watched it live. And a lot of people speak about you and Wesley's performance in that. How hard and difficult was that game? Because you're playing against prime Henry, prime Zidane, prime Vieira. Like, how difficult was that game going into it?
Very difficult. Like you say, you're playing the best in the world. It's what you want to do. You never think, you're talking as a kid, a dream to play for Man United. But you want to play against the best at the same time. You want to prove yourself against the best. So I'm not saying You did, because you...
Oh, no, you did.
Did I?
You're not going to
game.
say it, but I'm here to say it.
Did I play well? I can't
You played
remember.
incredible.
Did I? Right, I can't remember.
we got beat. Say he is. Wow.
We got beat though, didn't we?
Yeah, but
we got beat late on.
Zidane's free kick.
Zidane's free kick against David James, yeah. But these are the games you want to be involved in. You've got to play against the best. To get any kind of credit in your career, you play against your Vieiras, you play against your Zidanes. These are the best players in the world. Then Barcelona teams, Real Madrid teams, AC Milan teams would have said, if Manchester United want to be the best and you play for Man United, you have to be as good as them, or try and be as good as them.
How good was Zinedine Zidane? Because it's you two for me, my best ever players. It's you and Zidane. I'm not just saying that because you're here, but how good was Zidane?
Oh, the best. One of the very best that's played the game.
Yeah.
Silky. People don't give him credit for what an athlete he was, really. You talk about me not being an athlete. He was totally opposite. And he was big, he was strong, he was physical, control the ball with either foot, great pass of the ball, great goal scorer, header. He could do absolutely everything as a midfield player. It was something you didn't want to play against, because I wanted to play against the best, but if you could have avoided you would have done. But again, for me, it wasn't really about playing against people, because I was different. My game was in my head, rather than having to be physical against someone around to try and beat somebody with a trick. It wasn't me. I had to find a way of getting space in my head so I can beat someone with a 1-2 or something. That was the way I had to play the game. So I never really worried about any opponent, and I didn't worry about Vieira. And even though they were man mountains and physically and athletically stronger than me, it was up to me to find a way to beat them. I tried to do it.
We actually ended up winning the game. It was 4-3 against Real Madrid. Beckham's last European game for United against Real Madrid, and obviously R9 scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Watching R9 play, and I wouldn't even say that was his prime. I think that was towards the end of his prime. It was 03, 04, so he'd already won the World Cup with Brazil, but he got a standing ovation and scored 3 absolute crazy goals. Was there any stopping Ronaldo?
I think Fabian could have saved one of them. Yeah, was it Fabian? Honestly,
yeah.
You want it in a post? He could have saved that. It's could have been so different, this chat.
Yeah.
But no, look, he was. I'm not going to say I liked it, but you have to have look back and admire the standing ovation.
Yeah.
No, because I think people in Manchester, they're knowledgeable about football.
Yeah.
So they understand when they've seen. And it is a bit of greatness, isn't it? You think of a Real Madrid team coming to, what round was it, quarter-final, semi-final?
Yeah,
I don't know. Quarter-final, coming to a place like Old Trafford against a big team, in a massive club as well, and producing something like that, it's special.
Yeah.
And it's not something we liked.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I admire the fans for the way they were. And that Real Madrid team was very good, but we felt we could compete with them.
Yeah, I didn't think I think Ronaldo was the difference. That's when I looked at that, I felt.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah,
but,
and Figo as well.
But they had some great players as well. Don't get me wrong, they weren't just them.
All right, Paul, I think we've done enough of sitting down. I'm kind of getting a stitch from doing nothing. But I actually, this is your gym. I want you to show me how do some triceps and stuff.
Have I got some?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
There you go. Come, let's have a look. Let's have a little go here. Talk to me. How does this work?
Right, let me just look at the diagram.
Yeah.
Right, it's a bit of this.
Yeah.
Elbows in.
Elbows in.
I'm making this up,
Yeah, he's making it up as we go along. Oh, there we go. So what you want to do? Yeah, what you want to do is
zoom in on that.
Yeah, have a look at that. There we go. And that's Manchester Oldham solid red soil. Yeah, there you go. It's a rock. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
Yeah, let me have a little go as well.
That's regular finish now.
Yeah, cool. All right. So
have you got the technique?
Yeah, tuck your shoulders in.
Have you got anything there though? Oh, that's not bad. Not bad, is it? I'm struggling there.
No.
Struggling.
I'm trying.
You want a bit lighter, Harry?
Look, I mean, I just had a son, so you know how it goes.
It takes out.
It takes all out of me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
The belly and stuff like that as well. Yeah. But I want to sit down with you and talk about United now.
Yeah.
So let's go and find a nice place where we can sit down and have a level conversation. Actually, do you know what would be good? Let's sit here. Go on, Paul, let's have a little seat if you don't mind being close to me.
Yeah, no worries, Paul.
I'll give you a hug again. I'm milking it. So, currently, in this United team right now, or in general, just in the way the game's going right now, where would you see yourself playing, and what type of role would you be playing if you was playing in today's game?
I like being a number 10. In fact, I love being a number 10. Trying to make the team tick and the team play. But as I say, once I got to 29, 30, I was never an athlete, as we've mentioned a few times. I needed to change my game, and I really enjoyed that controlling part of the game.
Yeah. United right now, I've seen you at most of these games, either you're working or as a fan or whatever. Erik ten Hag, very different to the previous managers we've had. How good do you think he is, and how far do you reckon he can take United? I mean, he's made some signings that he wants now, and made some big decisions, with the whole Ronaldo situation, De Gea leaving. Where do you see United going with him?
I think they'll go a long way with him. I really like what I've seen so far. It's very difficult to comment on a manager without seeing him every day, at the training ground. But from what we've seen from the outside, I've been really impressed. There's no nonsense. I think he's got a way of playing that he wants. It's a high energy game that Manchester United fans want, Manchester United fans like. And as I said, taking no messing around from players. So I think before, players were playing the way they wanted to, rather than the way the manager wanted to. I think now they've got something to answer to. If they start playing for themselves, the manager won't allow that.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant.
And then with United right now, is there a player that you think could have played with you guys just because of the mentality and the way that they deliver themselves? I know it's not a shade at any of the players, but
no, it's difficult because we had such a brilliant squad of players.
Yeah.
But there's some. You think of Casemiro. But once he came to that team last year, there was a huge difference. And the experience he had from Real Madrid is winning trophy after trophy in the best team. How it took so long for him to get in the team, I'll never know. But he's in there now. Look, I don't know if some of them players could have played in our team. Marcus obviously was brilliant. I don't know. It's very difficult to say, but I'm impressed, and I think this year we can get better.
So do I. I hope we can. You know what I love? When I watch you, and United, before when we was losing, and the coverage comes back to you, I could see in your face you was fuming.
Yeah, I was, and I can't hide it.
I love that. That's what I love.
When you're, well, I never thought I'd ever do TV stuff, and Gary never asked me to do that Sky thing, and after I did that, I think because the more critical you are, people like it, but I hated it. I hated reading it the day after, still do now. And it annoys you, of course, because you want the team to be doing well. It seems from whenever I did it, and every game I did, they weren't playing very well. But now I think for the first time with Ten Hag, I'm starting to enjoy watching them play again. But there are times, obviously they've had some difficult results this year, but I'm starting to enjoy them, and I think the future's looking bright.
All right. Talking about the best players in the world right now. Currently, there's a new group of players across the world who are doing really, really well for themselves. But who do you reckon is the best in the world and will be a future Ballon d'Or winner?
It has to be Mbappe. I know it's not an original answer, but I just wonder, can he do it while he's playing for PSG? I'm not sure he can. They look to be getting a little bit worse, if anything. The club looks a little bit of a mess. He has to go, if he goes to Real Madrid, I think he'll do it.
Yeah.
But then there's other players. You think of Jude Bellingham going to Real Madrid. What a player. There's obviously people at City.
Yes.
Haaland, De Bruyne. I thought Gundogan last year, I thought he was, towards the end of the season, the last 3 or 4 months, he was unplayable. He was brilliant.
I'm actually happy to see him gone.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Need a few of them gone.
The whole team gone. You know what I mean? But my last question for you would be about this anyway, about current football right now is, where do you see the likes of like Marcus Rashford, the likes of Bruno Fernandes, and obviously now being the captain? Do you see them as leaders now? Do you think that it's important for them now to take it beyond just the pitch and start to be leaders?
I know when Harry lost his captaincy the other day, people talk about Marcus, but I never saw that.
Yeah.
He looks a very quiet person. Look, I don't know him in the dressing room, but he wouldn't be someone who strikes me as being a captain. Whereas Bruno's done it, hasn't he? And I think now for the first time, there's quite a few leaders in the team.
Yeah.
You think of the experience they've got, that the manager's brought in. You've got Varane, World Cup winner, Real Madrid, Casemiro. All of a sudden, there's 3 or 4 players in that team who are capable of being captain. I think Bruno's probably the right choice because he seems to be the one that they all look up to, and he's done a fantastic job when he has been captain. And he looks a leader. You know, he's the one that's always having a go. He's always trying to rally his team, and Yeah, I think it's a great choice.
Guys, I know you're probably watching this thinking, why am I so close to him? Yeah, look, it's my dad. So what we're going to do is we're going to go outside because you've got an amazing, beautiful view out there. So let's go have a little look at that, yeah?
Thank you. I'm not sure it's a beautiful view.
Yeah, no, it is. You've done all the machines and stuff. I feel a bit swole. You've got this amazing outdoor area here. I've actually got a little video I want to show you. But I think it's only right I show you in the space because then I can feel like Paul Scholes. So I don't think you know, but a lot of people in London, they call me the Black Paul Scholes. Yeah. So
I had heard that, I thought.
You've heard it? Okay, so it's travelled up here then, has it?
It's travelled to Oldham.
Okay, cool. Let's go and... Alright, so here I have a video from the 2nd of June 2013, just as you was coming to the end of your career, and I'm wearing your jersey now. This is a crossbar attempt from a very far place, and you're going to hear me say, get out of the way, so the keeper don't watch out for him, yeah?
Tiny one.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, isn't it?
That's not bad.
Alright, so...
Who's the number 12 on your back there?
No, number 22.
Oh, no, is it 22?
Yeah, that's what. Come on, Scholes, come on now.
Sorry,
all right, so I've got these targets here. Players you've all played with, right?
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you actually: did you work on your natural ability, or was it something that was just genuinely? You just woke up one day and you was like, I could kick a ball properly.
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think watching people.
Yeah.
I was watching all the time. Like any type of football that's on TV.
Yeah.
Anybody can watch, learning technique. I don't get it how people can't kick a ball, but a lot of people can't kick a ball.
Yeah. Well, you might say that after.
You might show me now.
Yeah, you might show me. All right, cool. So you give me a
focus.
Focus. All right.
Who are you going for?
You tell me, and I'll go for it.
Well, Peter Crouch played for Liverpool. Peter
Crouch. So this one is called Forget Pressure, and it goes a bit like this.
Oh, it's a good effort. It's not far away. So look at the target.
Look at it.
Right now, down the ball. You know where the target is.
Come on! Oh, I can't see your membership. All right. Second one, we're gonna go for who are we going for next?
Yeah, I gave you the easy one there.
That was easy, innit?
That was easy, yeah.
Okay, cool. So who's more difficult then?
Who's more? Van Persie. Look.
Van Persie. Aaron.
Van Persie.
So
that's the most I've seen Van Persie move, by the way.
Yeah. So left foot,
that is tough.
Plant it, and then focus.
Focus on your target. Oh, it's not bad.
So I've missed that. So that's
one
out of 2.
You're not going back for that, no?
Oh no, I can do it now, but I just kind of wanted to.
Same place, really. 1 out of 2. Right, are we going for? We'll save Wazza to last.
Wazza to last, yeah.
I think you need to focus. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Harry, focus.
Okay.
That's easy. That is easy.
Yeah. So what do I need to do for this one? Then let's
focus on Michael's nose.
On his nose.
Smash it against it.
Okay.
That is very good. What have you done to him?
He's done. Get rid of him. Yeah, rip him up. Get him out of there.
Oh, Michael.
Get him out of there. I mean, we love you, Michael. We love the horses, but, you know. All right, so the last one we're going to finish is with Wazza.
Wazza's a good target.
Shall I get Van Persie, yeah? Oh, my days. Oh. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ball boy, yeah?
Okay, now I'm going to go for Van Persie. This is the first time you're attempting.
So
you said you want to look at him.
Are we not counting the other 3 times? Right?
No, we're not.
Right. Look, focus.
He does keep turning a bit, though.
What are you doing, Michael? Focus on his nose. You lit it.
That's why I keep moving.
You need to come to the left a bit. Remember, you keep going right.
So left.
Left.
All right, it's not happening.
You're going the same place every time.
Paul, but you're not giving me. Do you know what it is? Watch out!
Adjust your foot.
So adjust my foot, yeah.
So either adjust your foot or the way you're aiming.
All right, so adjust this foot. Yeah.
No, the foot you're kicking.
This with. Okay.
Yeah. Your footwear's not great for it, to be fair.
This is what I'm thinking.
Prepared.
So.
Yes.
There we go, and it's all about trying hard. And then we're just going to finish it off with a young little Wazza. And really, one of the best players to play for Man United.
You've got a crowd there as well, though.
Yeah. You're not watching.
Make him nervous.
All right, can we do some claps? Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Wazza.
No way.
Love you to bit. Oh!
Oh, do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. We need more claps though, guys.
This is first time.
If I get this right, everyone gets a 3-year membership.
Whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
Good day.
All right. And this is how we're going to end it.
Come on, Wazza.
Oh.
You got under it a bit. You get under it.
All right. I got under it a bit, yeah?
I tell you, I don't think you're focusing.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You're playing to the crowd a bit.
Yeah, I am. I'm being like one of those, like Ronaldo, innit?
Little.
What do you mean? I haven't got space. There we go.
I think he's nervous with the crowd.
Oh. I'll leave it with that. That's 3 out of 4. And obviously Paul Scholes' advice. But obviously the thing is, with Paul, he's not playing anymore, so the advice is a bit, you know what I mean? But how do you think I did out of 10?
You did okay.
Okay.
Out of 10, 7?
7.
Would that be fair?
That's fair. That's
tell
fair.
it,
Yeah, I'll take 7. And then in terms of me and you playing in midfield, how do you reckon that would work?
I think it'd work. I need an athlete next to me.
I mean, I didn't ask him to say this.
I don't want you to pass the ball, just be an athlete.
No.
You go and tackle people, give me the ball. Then.
I've actually got something I want to do on camera. So I've got 2 shirts here.
Right.
My parents actually, for my birthday, I did ask them to get me a Paul Scholes signed shirt, and they did get it for me, yeah? But it didn't feel like it came from you.
Right,
so I've got 2 shirts. Now, one of them, I'll start off with this one.
Oh, what a shirt.
What a shirt. This is 1999.
Yeah.
Does this feel like...
This feels real.
Yeah,
this is a proper team, isn't it?
Proper team.
Proper team.
Proper players.
Proper team. Proper
so
team.
I want a personalised message on there.
Not a problem.
Yeah, from yourself, and we're going to do this live. Right on the stuff here, wherever you want to put it. Oh my God! Wow.
I'll do it there. Is that the shirt you at the crossbar in? No, it's not.
This is the crossbar one. This is the crossbar. Now this is the crossbar one, and I'm going to give this away to a lucky fan, and that lucky fan's myself. So this one, I just want your signature on there.
Just sign it.
From Dad.
just sign it.
Yeah, just so you could just sign it for me, please. Thank you so much.
Sorry, no worries.
And there we have it, Paul Scholes. This is when he retired. And this is when he started,
That's
the
when
legend.
I was good, that was when I was old.
No, this is when he started being the greatest of all time. That's what I meant to say. But Paul, I just want to say thank you so much.
No
I
worries.
appreciate you. You've made a little boy's dream come true, bro. And you've been an incredible person to have.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing to your family's place.
No worries.
So yeah, man, this has been Beyond the 90. Harry Pinero, Paul Scholes, of course, exclusively on Vibe 5, man. That's what we do over here, man. It's just exclusive.